Let's try it.
Are you gonna call it jalapeno harmonica?
What?
Oh, you're posting an old episode number.
Where?
It must be an automatic tweet.
What?
Yeah, it's post episode 453. We're up to 457, aren't we?
Hang on. YouTube. Oh, because that comes from YouTube. Hang on. Let me.
God damn you, YouTube!
Hang on.
I'd almost want to talk about the Black Powerpuff Girl episode, but I didn't even watch it. Also, I know that was a bad idea as soon as I heard her voice. Not that she's black. It's the fact that they stereotype the hell out of her.
Oh no, she's ghetto, isn't she?
No, not entirely, but sort of.
Okay, yeah. Damn it, I hate when they do shit like that.
Not only that, but it's corrupted by him and becomes basically a version of him with her head, which is just awful looking.
That is weird.
Just redesigned our character.
MXT's in the YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
I've avoided the new Powerpuff Girls.
We haven't started yet.
Avoided it.
As an episode where one of the writers inserted itself in the show in cartoon form and wanted to date one of the Powerpuff Girls.
I am glad I am staying fucking way clear of that
They're
joke.
little girls.
Yes, I'm very glad.
Just like this new character was.
I'm very glad I'm staying. Even still, like, I don't want some old-ass man trying to date a teenager either. Like, fuck.
At least that would be illegal in certain countries, Bo, is what I'm saying.
Oh, some states, too.
What? Why can't I get money?
Depending on the age, I guess. I don't know, because you're Frank. That's why you can't do it.
You suck. You suck. Oh, there.
I don't know if you've been watching Super lately, Break, but
yes,
they're trying to make it edgier more than the dub's trying to make it more the show more edgier and for adults, even though that's totally not the case. It's a show for children. It's always been a show.
Hey, Mug, do we have you on? Do we have you on?
Inserting words like ass and shit. And
yeah, I mean, well, that's what they've been trying to do because Dragon Ball.
That's like the 11 o'clock stream. Like I'm pretty sure the 8 o'clock stream doesn't do that.
Hey,
Mr. Satan's probably still Hercule there.
Do we have Mug on the line?
I don't know which one I take.
I'm here.
Okay.
I gotta go back and check and see which one I take.
What it's doing with Super.
All right, guys.
I'm not sure if I see the edited one or not because the one I see is they call him Mr. Satan, but I'm not sure if I take the 8 o'clock or 11 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock. It's probably the adult version.
Yeah.
Extra swearing that doesn't need to be there.
Well, I get part of why they're doing that because the series doesn't really have a lot of kid fans anymore. It's like it's kind of like the old.
But it's more than just that, though. It's like they've changed complete aspects of Goku's character and such.
All right, you guys ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, you guys ready?
I guess.
All right. We're already live. I see Wyland and.
So by doing this, they made Goku more human.
I see.
Yeah, like I don't know. There's some changes that I don't like, and there are other changes that I do. I never mind. Let's not get into this. We got to start a show.
Yeah. All right. I see MXT and Wyland in there, so
maybe we can get into it later when I talk about localizations.
Maybe. Okay.
I've got some words to say on localization. Hello,
here we
fate.
go. That's gonna
it's not bad. It's just I've seen worse, far worse. But
it is
it
the word
better.
I use.
I know NIS is capable of doing better.
Okay, you guys ready?
Workmanlike is the word I would use.
You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right.
I already said I was ready.
No, I know, but
The hell you been?
You
Catch
guys
up. Get on our level.
how dare you? How dare you already start in?
What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? He threatened to exile me the other day, and even his own mother laughed.
That's as empty as the threat as Donald Trump saying something.
How dare you compare me to Donald Trump, Eric? You're exiled, you son
That's
of a bitch.
true. Trump is much more handsome.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, you son of a bitch. Look, to prove
See,
my
that's the thing.
We die everyone will
Trump
again
is
laughing.
also more real. That's why Frank wears the hat.
Mug
You know,
wants...
I will give Trump a little bit of credit. I always thought that hair was fake. So I'll give him that credit. I mean, I
Mug-
was wrong there.
Mug
Can I say-
has made his feelings toward Trump known already, so I think we got a name for this episode. Mug loves Trump. All right, here we go.
Trump's a sexy beast.
And welcome, everybody, to episode 457 of RPGrinders. I'm your host, Frank Branches, alongside my trusty cohorts, Eric the Great, Breakman the Bold, and the Frosty One himself. The Mug is back. What is up, gentlemen? Besides localization talk. What's up?
Preposition.
Huh? What?
Up is a preposition.
It's also a name of a movie.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. So what's going on? What's happening? Mug, let's start with you.
I'm here.
He's here. That's
all
a
you're
good
getting.
thing.
That's all you're getting.
Okay, that's all I'm getting. What about you, Eric? How was your week, man?
It was all right. It was hot though.
Yeah, well, it's cooler here.
Well, it's hot in the workplace. So
I gotcha.
I can't wait till it gets colder so that it gets cooler in the workplace as a result.
Yeah.
And I can actually wear jeans again.
I love working in an office during the spring and fall around here when it's when it's cold in the morning and they bump up the furnace all morning, and then by the time it's warm in the building, like it's getting warm outside, so it starts getting hot inside too. You're like, fuck,
yeah.
Can't win.
Yeah. So how was your week, man? Breakman?
It was that.
It was just that.
It was that.
Yeah.
It was a week.
It was a
It
week.
was a week.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't we get started with the news right off the bat, guys? We got plenty to talk about.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
We got plenty to talk about today. Tons of bullshit to talk about today. So let's get started with news. Eric, feel free.
All right. Actually, you shouldn't break through this one.
No. Let's let Break do this.
Oh, yes, we definitely should.
Break,
we absolutely should.
You're
coming to us live from RPG site. Atelier, Liddy, and Liddy and Suel heading westward.
French names, I think.
Swell? Okay. Oh, those aren't French names I've ever heard of. Koei Tecmo has announced that Atelier, Liddy, and Suel, alchemists of the mysterious paintings. I like that title better. Why don't you make it that? Alchemists of mysterious paintings. It's kind of a
Those are
nice
subtitles.
I don't care. They don't need that teller thing.
How would we know it's an
You can drop that name. Shut up, Frank. Nobody asked you.
I've had it too long. I can't drop it anymore.
Like that's the that should be the new title of all games. Should be like video games should just be named
Atelier Fantasy, Final Fantasy.
You're not, Eric. You're not saying it right. It's Atelier. You have to say all four r's.
Yeah.
You basically have to sound like you basically have to sound like a Rottweiler that's trying to talk.
All right.
Can you say I love you?
Can you say video game?
See, she said it. She said it. Good dog.
Yep, exactly.
Anyways, platforms.
Oh yeah. So this will be out on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam next year. This is early next year, but
They just skipped the Vita. It's like we're not doing the Vita version.
I
The
think
Vita
the
is dead.
Yeah.
The Vita is dead. I mean, it's like it is. You know,
In Japan, it's getting a Vita version, but here, nope.
It's getting this
Because there's
slow
no
painful
installed
death that the PSP got.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no install base here. There's no point in bringing stuff out here.
Yeah.
Also,
I
I think it'd be a waste of energy to even do a Vita version. I don't even know why Japan's getting a Vita version, because that machine's just proof, and the existence of the Switch is just proof that it's underpowered and it will have terrible frame rate.
Yeah.
It's like, why bother making an inferior version?
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next story.
Such a shame, because the PlayStation, the PSP, like, I want a Vita, but
I mean, at least Doom on the Switch is going to be 30 FPS, but it's going to be a solid 30 FPS.
There's been some
I want a
talk
Vita
about
because
The
of
fact
how
that
much
the game's running on the Switch at all is a miracle in itself.
I agree, but it looks good on that system. But I heard it does drop frames to around 25,
And it drops the resolution.
Yeah, in only specific parts, but still, the fact that it runs is amazing.
And the multiplayer's separate, which is fine, since I don't find myself playing a multiplayer in Doom.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next story. Eric, next story.
Next story is that Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney is coming out on smart devices. Spirit of Justice, that is. Ace Attorney 6 is set in the kingdom of Kur in the origin of the Korean channeling technique, which is used by the Face Sisters in previous games. But I think it was the full game's available on Android right now. I think it just for $20, and players may download the first chapter on iOS for $1, and then the remaining portions of the game are available as a download DLC.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to go to Japan and explain to them that apps, you can't charge $20 for an app.
Yeah. No. But you can charge.
It's because Square does it, Capcom does it,
Yeah.
like what are the other Konami does it and shit like that, where they're charging $1 billion for their fucking apps. Like no, no, these aren't cartridges for video games that somebody can keep for the rest of their lives.
No.
These are apps that you're gonna be able to keep, and
The full game was $30 on the 3DS when it launched on that console.
And the 3DS, that makes sense. Like I'm saying, like you get the game and you own it for the rest of your life, and you have the system for the rest of your life.
Well,
the phones will
Capcom's
change.
Immediately not done cartridge releases for any of these games.
Yeah.
And Apollo
I know,
Justice
but
is going to be probably at the same price.
I think your
No,
point.
I'm just complaining about the prices, so never mind.
I get your point, dude, for sure. Especially for older games, like, I could see $10.
There's a very simple reason why they do it.
Well,
Yes.
people will buy it. That's the point.
Stuff is worth what people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Unless it's Capcom Infinite, it's not worth its price.
Right.
Or Street Fighter 2 Ultra.
But here's the thing.
That is the 100% right. People will pay what they think it's worth and stuff. Like that's why art is can be so expensive.
Yeah. Well,
I'm really waiting for a sale for Apollo Justice.
Yeah, that's a thing. You have to wait for a sale or.
Yeah, but when they do sales, they usually do like 50% off.
Now.
It's still like $10 for an app. It's just.
Yeah.
Still,
you're also conflating, like you're blanketing everything as an app. It's like an app is like $3.
Yeah,
it depends on what the app is. There's a lot more that goes into these games than there is.
It's not necessarily an app. It's a video game. I mean, they have a right to charge.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not a. Never mind. Let's just move on.
I get what you're saying.
I just want to move on.
I'm actually on your side.
It, if you don't want to eat into your memory usage, then make sure you're on a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, but the thing is like what everybody's been saying, if they're not gonna, like, we'll see a price drop or a sale real soon if it's not selling well. You know what I mean?
Is there like a website that is like a sale alert for mobile games?
I don't know of any. All right. Let's see. Mug, next story, please.
All right, coming to us live from RPG site. Square Enix has announced that the Comrades multiplayer expansion for Final Fantasy 15 will launch on October 31st. There's a new trailer available, and with a new vocal track entitled Choosing Hope, composed by Uematsu and sung by Japanese singer Emiko Suzuki. And Players can strategize and create a balanced team to take on a variety of quests. In addition to multiplayer quests, single-player quests are also available for players to enhance their characters. It will be available to players who have purchased the Season Pass for Final Fantasy 15, and it can also be purchased standalone. It does require a subscription to Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus. It takes place after Chapter 13 in the game, where players act as survivors from the Kingsglaive, working to find out more about the disappearance of Noctis. As members of Kingsglaive, players can equip various kinds of royal sigils that grant special powers from the Lucian bloodline. Other members of Noctis' crew, including Gladiolus, Prompto, and Ignis, will be made playable in future game updates.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, they're gonna keep doing updates through 2018, so I'm gonna keep it going for a while.
Did it say what it's gonna be? Is it just gonna be the same gameplay as Final Fantasy 15, or is it gonna be different?
I read all the information that it gave, so you probably have to watch the trailer.
Sounds like it's gonna be like Secret of Mana, where other people will be able to play as the other characters.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm looking at the trailer. I put it up for everybody to see on YouTube.
But this is just like the tip of the iceberg of Square's parent business strategy going forward, where they're planning on making more multiplayer-only games as service.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they're milking Final Fantasy 15 for all it's worth because they sank a fuck ton of money into that game.
Yeah,
because they were the original cost of it, and then it didn't do so well when it launched, so they had to spend a lot more money on it.
Hey, Mug,
so 14, they are heavily invested in.
Yeah, Mug, you have a groupie in chat. I just noticed.
I do. The freak.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm not.
Final Fantasy.
Which
15.
chat?
Yeah, I just looked at the
IRC chat.
Yeah, I just looked at. I got
frozen.
I don't know. I looked at the gameplay footage and it looks spectacular. This is what Square Enix should be doing. No surprise.
I kind of want them to go back to basics and do a Final Fantasy 9 approach, but for 16 or something.
Maybe we'll get that.
I suspect 17 will be the next online game.
I think they should just remake 9 in HD and fuck 7 and 8 and just go straight to 9. That's what I would do. But
it would be nice if they still had the and one thing I really don't get is if they still had the all the files and everything for the renders that they did for the PlayStation games. Mm-hmm. If you could convert that into real-time 3D, which I'm certain that at this point, the hardware could handle that in real time, but even so, touching on the next story, about Final Fantasy 9, you have to wonder why didn't they do any re-renders of all this stuff? Unless they lost everything, it shouldn't take much to just render it at a higher resolution.
I totally agree with that. So go ahead and do.
I'm also wondering why they didn't even do 8 before they did 9, because they did 7 and then they went straight to 9.
Because 9 is better. Go ahead.
I know
9 is better. 9 is my favorite game in this series, but I do love 8.
I bet it's based on a lot of it's based on what sold the most and well, no, what sold the most at the time and what fans are begging for.
Yeah. All right.
Because they did finally cave on the whole Final Fantasy VII thing because they probably got tired of hearing about it. For fuck's sake, okay, here, we'll make it if you leave us the fuck alone.
No.
Also, it's easier to port a game that's already been ported to PC and iOS.
No, Square Enix does something that a lot of people do is they hold back. Disney does the same with their Valve. They hold things back until the peak of where people really ravenously want that game, and then they announce something, and
it's called good business.
Yeah, it's called good business. That's all it is. That's
whoa. You can't compare Square Enix and Disney and say good business between, compare Disney to the Squenix and all the mistakes they have made.
Well,
the thing is,
Disney has made good business. They obviously
they made some mistakes too.
Square has made plenty of mistakes, but they've also, releasing stuff when the market seems most right for it. Square's pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Even their objectively bad games like Final Fantasy 13 still do really well.
Yeah. No, it did well.
13 did. I think when it came out was their biggest seller
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the
easily.
series.
I think it may still be their biggest seller.
Yeah.
I
13
thought
was
14. I thought 14 had eclipsed it at this point, but maybe I'm wrong.
13
Well,
is
the thing is, 14 is also an online game, so
Mhm.
I think 15 eclipsed it.
yeah, like the profit model for an online game is very different from a single player.
Right. Yeah. Very good point. Very good point.
Dungeon Busters in chat, so we got the normal dudes in there, Wyland, MXT, Freak 5, and Dungeon Buster.
Well,
yeah.
you know what? We've never heard from MXT. MXT might be a girl.
Oh.
We don't know that's a dude.
No, I've actually heard
Or
MXT
woman. I'm
voice.
sorry. Like that might be a female instead of male.
MXT is actually her initial.
Exactly.
Her actual name is Melinda Xavier Torres.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, let's move on to the next story. Speaking of Final Fantasy IX, it's now available for the PS4 for $16.79. It's a fantastic game. It's a great game.
I'm waiting for sale for that because I've already got it on PC and I probably shouldn't get it on PS4.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I haven't, I got the PC version. I mean, which this is. I mean, it's just a port of the PC version.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh god, it's Final Fantasy IX. Like,
I know.
No, I've got a ton of other games that
I know, but
playing,
it's like, damn, I want to play that game again, man.
At least if I had it on PS4, I could potentially LP it easily.
Yeah. Well, it's fun game. All right, let's move on to the next story, Eric.
Next story is how Zone of the Enders 2 is getting a remaster in the form of a VR game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be playable, without the VR as well. I mean, it's like
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing that they didn't bother with the first game because the first game is actually not good.
The first game it's like a 6.8 out of 10. It's not terrible, but it's just like it feels more like a proof of concept. Whereas Zone of the Enders, the second runner, aka Anubis, is in my opinion one of the best action games ever made.
Yeah,
I feel like this is a way of not only getting around the fact that you can't play PS3 games on the PS4, but also because they want to include VR into it, so why not?
What is the next gen of surround sound? 7.1 or what's the latest? Because I'm looking at the video.
Support too, so yay.
7.2.
7.1, as far as I know, has been the standard for some years now.
Yeah.
I mean, like you can only put so many speakers up.
Well, there's 7.2 now. I think that's what they're referring to. I was looking at the trailer for this, and it said they redid the sound for next gen sound, which I'm assuming
only they redo the voice acting and the scripting for this release.
It is one of my favorite games of all time. I genuinely think it is one of the top 5 PS2 games ever released. But my God, it has one of the worst localizations of the past 20 years.
Yeah,
I'm not even joking. I mean, it is awful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Valis 3 bad, but it's bad.
It's pretty close. The thing is, there's one of the little, my Japanese is pretty good. I'm not fluent, but when I can listen to an English line and I know exactly what the line was in Japanese, that's a bad translation.
Yeah.
Like there's a bit toward, in like the final third of the game where the character Ken uses this wisp thing and grabs Jehuti and pulls it close to her. And the line that he says to her is, like they're like the two mechs are like face to face, and he goes, "You use weird things." Now, the actual line in Japanese, and I don't know it specifically because I haven't heard it in Japanese, but it's like "henna mono o tsukeyagatte," literally means you use weird things. But there's this that the way that it's said in Japanese, it's meant to imply exasperation. You and your freaking tricks. Now, you and your freaking weird gimmicks and gizmos and all this shit.
Yeah.
That's the mode, the tone that it's trying to put across. And oh God, like the big battle stage, which is amazing. And holy crap, it's intimidating the first time you see it. But it's just like there's all these people calling out for help. It's like the body is damaged. It's gonna, I'm gonna die. It's so bad.
It's really bad. Yeah.
The game. I love the game. It has an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah.
It plays amazingly well. It is like just buttery smooth at all times. god, that's great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's kind of
I'll-
slower on the PS3. and
Yeah,
Xbox,
Dungeon
but-
Buster. Dungeon Buster says he likes Zone of the Enders, and the sequel's super good, like Final Fantasy IX. And then let's see. Freak 5 says it's a free weekend for Overwatch, so anyone interested for Overwatch, go ahead and play it this weekend. See if you like it.
and Zoe 2 is coming to PC. It says.
Yeah,
PC.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's coming to PS4 and PlayStation VR update. It's also coming to PC. No word of a Western release yet, but we'll be sure to keep you posted.
Yeah, for sure.
So, fuck
All right,
yeah.
let's move on to the next story, Breakman.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat. Coming to us live from Matsu. Inside coming to Switch and iOS. I didn't realize Inside was the name of it. Inside, the latest game from Limbo developer Playdead, is coming to Switch and iOS. Limbo was an interesting game.
Yeah, I like
no further details. That's all that we know.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
I mean, and like I played through. I bought Inside because I heard all these amazing reviews and stuff of it,
Mhm.
and I was like, I played it. I'm like, this is okay. It's
Yeah.
not worth $20, but it's okay.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's it looks really nice. It has like that this weird like minimalistic sort of look. I mean, it's like it's the tone and everything. It's a very moody game, but something about it just doesn't feel quite right. It's like in the end, you're like, okay, yes, but what was the point?
Yeah.
Mm,
I like Limbo quite
that's
a
a
bit.
rousing
so,
review. I can't wait to go out and get it now.
I probably would play it
If
on
you can get it for
Switch.
$10, get it. It is worth $10. It's not worth $20.
I'd get it on Switch just to have something to play on the Switch.
Play it portable. Because I don't think Inside has a Vita port, does it?
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
It's
It's also
If it
it's
did,
also
probably
a very-
run terribly.
yeah.
It is. I don't know. Actually, the Inside would probably run just fine, but it's also a very short game,
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 hours.
Oh shit, yeah. Freak 5 says Spring Break DLC was released for Friday 13th, so if digital boobs and butts are your thing, you can jerk off to the counselors in their swimwear.
Yeah, duh. Who doesn't jerk off to that kind of stuff?
In that game.
Oh man, remember the PlayStation the original when they had that like those triangle boobs for Laura Croft? Oh my god. Yes.
That was the hottest thing.
Oh man, and then they had the Playboy the game. I fucking love that game. The game was so funny. It was so stupid.
I never
it
even...
was one of those games that was so bad.
Wait. BMX Triple X.
Oh god, that was even worse.
Another
I used
one
to
of
have
those games that was so bad it was good.
Yeah,
Like, this
yeah.
is fucking terrible.
I used to play the
This
shit out of
was
Triple
like
X.
the Troll 2 of video games.
You know, of all things, I played Triple X on the GameCube, I think, which is weird playing Triple X BMX on the GameCube. But yeah, I remember when that was the thing.
Like, with that game, wasn't it originally going to be like a Dave Mirra game, and then it was just like they lost the license,
Yep.
and then
Yep. Then it became Triple
like,
X.
nobody's going to buy this without dude's name on it. So
Yeah.
let's just put some boobs and
Yeah.
or like the guy game,
Yeah.
which was actually. Did you guys? I'm getting off track, but like that game actually caused like a lot of legal hassles
Oh,
for
yeah.
the developers because
Oh yeah.
apparently the game got taken off of shelves because it turns out that some of the girls who exposed themselves were underage.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Yeah, I remember that. That was.
So yeah, like it got yanked from all storefronts, like
Yeah.
physical. I don't think since it was I think it was categorized as AO, because of all the nudity, but
I
so it
actually
never got a physical retail release, but nobody would carry it.
I have that game somewhere. It's a Xbox game that I have.
So
and-
technically, you own child porn.
no, and
Actually, technically you do.
technically yes, but
If the FBI comes in your house, they will report that they found child porn.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
boy.
is. Yeah, it was removed from shelves because technically, legally, yes, it's some of it's child porn.
oh boy, whatever. But
Frank owns child porn. I think that should be the name of the
how
show.
dare you? How
There's
dare you?
yeah, that is the title of this episode. Frank owns child
How
porn.
dare you? No, don't do that, man. I'll have the FBI at my fucking door, man. No, I'm good, man. I have enough cop stories.
See, the thing is, actually, this is true because since we're both in the same house, and like confiscate everything. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit about Frank's stuff.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's not like I have a ton of stuff anyway.
It's
so
true.
go
They'll
ahead.
investigate the fuck out of you just for knowing him.
Well, you guys are guilty by association, so there you go. All right, let's move on to the next story.
This last show I'll be doing because now that I know that, I want nothing to do with this.
Let's move on to the next story and let's.
Guess what? I'm exiling myself. You guys have a nice life.
let's not get ourselves into trouble just yet, guys. Let's move on to the next story. From Silconair, card-based steampunk RPG Trulon, and the Puppet Master. I mean, oh no, that's Toulon. I'm sorry. Never mind. It's the Shadow Engine. It's coming to the PS4.
What's not actually known about this is that Trulon, it is actually the landscaping service that is that handled everything on the set of True Lies.
Wah, wah. Card-based RPG, that's enough for me to not play it. It's now on the PS4. So you'll
I think we should run with this for a second. It's like this: Trulon, the Shadow Engine, the Shadow Engine, not the Shadow Empire.
Yeah.
But it's coming to PS4 or whatever. It's a card-based RPG, and moving on.
Yeah, it's a card-based game. Moving on. Yeah.
Holy crap! This game looks amazing. This is going to be the best game. It's a card-based RPG, and now I don't give a shit anymore.
Yep. Moving on. Get all excited. That
would be the best.
Yeah, the author of
best game review ever. Put that on the box.
There we go. And it's soon discovered that Marvel Puzzle Quest is soon becoming a card-based RPG. Frank will never play another game again.
No, you know what's becoming a turn-based card game RPG is Out of the Chute. They call it Out of the Chute 2, Moving On. So that's the name of that game.
Wasn't it like a bull riding game?
Yes. We have a long love for Out of the Chute on this show. So, yeah.
I don't recall that one ever being brought up. Holy crap! I remember that game exists. I've never seen footage of it or anything.
It's the greatest game ever made, man. It's the best.
It's better than Superman 64 or Quest 64.
It is. It's a different genre, but it's definitely something, I will say. Let's see. So yeah, it's just it's written by Jack Koch, the author of Shadowrun and the creator of Coke. No, I'm just kidding. Shadowrun series, the Dragon Heart Saga. So there you go. Next story, Eric.
Next story is from Silly String Era, and NIS America is bringing the 25th Ward to Silver Case. They just basically inverted the title of the last game, the subtitle. But people in North America and Europe do not need to worry about whether or not Silver Case's sequel will be released worldwide, and they're bringing it to PlayStation 4 and PC in 2018. And it's using the same film window system from the Silver Case. So that means there's lots of text boxes that have like either stats or like your actual screen viewing.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. It's got a strange visual art style, sort of.
It's Suda being Suda.
It's exactly. It's from Suda 51, so you're always gonna be, have that eye-catching aesthetic. But no, it might be interesting. I don't know. I didn't play the first.
Apparently, you can handle the investigation in 3 different ways: and correctness, matchmaker, and placebo.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's interesting. Let's see, who was it? Wyland says DSP is going to be playing some Marvel vs. Capcom, I believe. That'd be interesting to see how much he bitches about the lag and how everybody else sucks, but he's the best. But we'll see. All right, next story, Breakman.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. What happened? I'm not sure if this is the right one or not. So, coming to us live from Silicon Era, NIS America bringing the 25th Ward, the Silver Case West.
We just did it. Next story.
Sorry. Okay. Coming to us live from Silicon Era, Action RPG's Way, I'm sorry. I was in chat and I was really into it. And I just
Yeah,
flipped
sure.
check.
It's
Action RPG
Zwei.
Sway.
Zwei.
Zwei. Zwei.
Zwei,
It's German.
like
It's
a V.
Zwei. Like
Zwei.
it's pronounced V. It's ZV, like AI, Zwei.
Zwei.
Yeah.
Zwei. The Ilverd insurrection has been delayed until fall. Wow.
How dare you
Well, it's
mispronounce
fall now,
something.
but I'm gonna assume that means sometime before December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's funny is the
Yes.
title of that, because it's actually it's Zwei 2. So which is why they did the Ilvard insurrection, so that when you abbreviate it, it's Zwei II. So it's Zwei 2. I'm like, that's kind of clever.
I'm wondering why they didn't bother with the first game.
I'm waiting for the third one. I'm waiting for.
I don't think the first one's on any current hardware.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the third one. Zwei. Fuck it. Never mind. Move on. What else?
Okay. This
Wait a
game
minute.
features a standalone narrative and follows the story of treasure hunting pilot Ragna Valentine and vampire princess Alwyn du Moonbria. Oh, say that 3 times fast.
I know what I was gonna
who
say.
are bound by a blood contractor by a blood contract after Alwyn saves Ragna's life. The two then set off on a journey to recover Alwyn's stolen magic and castle. Oh.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for Zwei versus Phi. That's what I'm waiting for. But all right.
Black and white, yeah. The black Zwei versus the white Zwei.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look, we got somebody else in the YouTube chat. Says Crazy Jane's in there. She typed in Dre. I have no idea what that means.
Drei. The thing is, it's 1, 2, 3 in German. It's ein, zwei, drei.
Ein, zwei, drei. Okay. But like I said, I'm still waiting for Zwei versus Phi, the black and white edition. So
We
right.
heard you the first time. We just pretended
wasn't
we didn't.
I know.
all right, let's move on to
Experience not wholly unfamiliar to Frank there.
yeah, exactly. Let's move on to the next story. Let's go with you, Mug. Smart
All right,
ass.
coming to us live from the state which must not be named, even though Eric already did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Clock Tower creator Hifumi Kono is working on DMM's first PS4 exclusive title announced at TGS 2017, called Demeritocracy, or the Two Faces of. Oh no, actually, this is the whole title, and I kind of love it. Demeritocracy, which is a cool term in and of itself, or it's Demeritocracy, or the Two Faces of Arius Ruth. Like, that's actually I don't usually like wordy titles, but I have to admit that one's pretty good.
It's like Birdman or the something of ignorance. I can't remember what it started with. Melancholy of ignorance.
Okay. Demeritocracy, or the Two Faces of Arius Ruth, is described as a Machiavellian adventure game that features a dark hero protagonist who works from the shadows. The game won't have you simply read text and progress, but will have you gather intel, stifle with people and organizations. Maybe it means like interfere, in a rather different kind of adventure game. The game's director and scenario writer is none other than Hifumi Kono from Shade, best known as the creator of the Clock Tower series. Joining him is Arko Wada, who worked as an artist on several Fate games, with the most recent one being her role as the character artist for Fate/Extella. There's some art, and yeah,
screenshots look pretty. So I'm excited.
Coming to Japan in 2018 for PlayStation 4.
And probably like 2021 for the United States, I'm guessing.
The last comment on the page says, that's one of the most androgynous character designs I've ever seen. And given that it's anime, that's really saying something.
All right, now I have to look at the character. Okay.
I have to look. Oh, okay.
I'm interested in this. Clock Tower was pretty fun. That was the game where you're what was it? Clock Tower 3, where you're running around from the
multiple
monsters.
different things that are trying to kill you.
Yeah, and you can't attack. It basically had the same kind of feel in a third person as what's its name did, that one first person game.
A Deception?
No. It's
You're the one that was doing the killings in that one.
No. It's what is the name of that game? It's like it's a big PC game. Super scary. What Amnesia? Thank you. That's what it is. Thank you.
Want a bit of better comparison than Haunting Ground?
Haunting Ground.
Doesn't
yeah.
anybody else think it's funny that he couldn't remember the name Amnesia? I mean, that's a
That is
joke
kind
in
of
itself, right?
How dare you? How
Well, there
dare
are
you?
two
break
different
that?
games called Amnesia. And
Actually, what Frank, what you should have done is you should have just played it off like you were deliberately doing.
Right. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. What was it again? Anyways, all right. Last story, Eric.
last story is about a game being released, which is a successor to Fantasy Earth Zero, and it's for smartphones, and it's called Earth Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
And Square Enix and online game company Asobimo are teaming up for a newly announced smartphone game, Fantasy Earth Genesis, a successor to the MMO title Fantasy Earth Zero.
I like the artwork for sure. The artwork is spectacular. It's
That's nice.
what's that?
Wow.
I
Yeah,
think
Yeah, the artwork
Fantasy
actually
Earth
does
was
look
like,
really nice.
It's really,
I think
really
Fantasy
Kind of
Earth
reminds
was
me of it.
reminds you of
Fantasy
what?
Earth, I think. Sorry.
That's right.
Yeah,
What-
it's like we keep trying to. It's like we're both like, okay, I'll stop.
Yeah.
I am trying to read this after
yeah,
all.
It's like we're all having the same thoughts. I'll stop.
Yeah.
Okay, no one said anything. I'll start. Damn it, we're
All right,
interrupting
Eric.
each other.
All right, Eric. Finish the story.
I think Fantasy Earth was like supposed to be an MMO.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
It does kind of give. I do kind of get like that Maple Story vibe off of it.
Yeah. It looks good. I like the artwork. Very vibrant and it stands out as far as I'm
It kind of
concerned.
reminds me of the East 8 character designs.
Yeah. I could see that. But yeah, it's real pretty. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. It looks good. All right.
Looks like this game has a bit of a tower defense angle to it, though.
Maybe. Well, it still looks good, dude. I mean, let's give the game a little bit of credit before it even comes out.
Well,
but-
I'm looking down. Hang on, I'll scroll down a little bit. So players can expand on their domain, summon, defend, and more with the help of quote-unquote structures.
Yeah. I guess.
It is. Yeah, it says online competitive action RPG will be free to play with microtransactions.
I don't think they want to lump themselves in the tower defense category, though. So, looks
Who
a
knows
little
if this will be localized? I don't think the other two were. Fantasy Earth and then Fantasy Earth Zero.
Yeah, probably not. Get on that, Mug. Translate them so we could play them. All right. That's the news for today, guys. Homie discounts, Eric. I think we got some homie discounts.
Yeah, on groupies.com, there's a Joss USA bundle number 4. And it's only got 4 games this time, so it's actually rather weak. And I think one of the games has been in one of the other bundles. But you can get for the minimum of $6.25 Lightning Warrior Raidi, Lightning Warrior Raidi 2, Temple of Desire, Kana Okairi, which is the remake of Kana, and Princess Waltz. These are all Arrowgay.
Oh, so if you're into the Arrowgay, there's your fix right there on the cheap. So sweet. There you go. Let's see. Freak 5 linked a video showing the bikinis in Friday the 13th. So there you go.
Yeah, he told a pretty funny story in chat earlier, but we were talking about other stuff. Basically, he pissed somebody off while playing that game because he teabagged them while wearing like swim trunks, and they were Jason. They weren't happy about that.
Can you teabag as Jason, or can you only teabag
Well
as one
done.
of the teenagers?
That would be funny. The idea of Jason, like especially because I haven't played the game, but doesn't it have like skins of all of his different iterations in the movie?
It's got some. They keep
Does it have?
releasing.
Please tell me it has Uber Jason. It needs to have Uber Jason.
Not yet.
Some
I don't
Jason?
believe it has Uber Jason, but it
The
does-
idea of Uber Jason killing someone and then teabagging them amuses the shit out of me.
yeah, dude, you should watch some playthroughs of that game, man. It actually looks like a lot of fun. People have been having fun with that game.
Yes, multiplayer in general really depends on the crew that you're playing with. But stuff like that, where it's like where it's like the lopsided multiplayer design. It's like you really have to have the right people to play with, because if you're just doing like matchmaking, then it's like everyone's just not to screw over everyone else.
Oh yeah, no, you have to play with some good people. Let's see. Freak Five says, uh, what does he say? Oh, he was wearing speedos and he teabagged Jason, so that's cool.
Swim
Jason,
trunks, speedos. I mean, basically, that's it. Basically, I was right.
Well, the Speedo is basically like, it's essentially briefs.
oh God, do you guys remember that?
Very, very tight briefs.
Yeah, exactly. Do you guys remember Freak Five sending us
tight,
sending
bulging briefs? Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's move on. Let's see. Any Twitter questions or comments, guys? Breakman.
Nope, there was nothing in there. I looked earlier. Let me double check and see if anything was added.
Okay.
But,
Probably
no.
not.
Nope.
Nope. All right. So if you guys want to
That's
send
sad.
in,
What has happened? Like,
I don't know. We used
for
to.
a couple weeks there, we were getting a lot of, and then there's nothing. And
If you want to send comments to us, which we will most assuredly read on
I'll
air.
stop crying when they email.
At RPGrinders on Twitter. Make sure you send it because we don't want to make Breakman sad. We want a happy Breakman. So send Breakman some nasty tweets on Twitter at RPGrinders.
What?
Well, dude, that could mean good things for you, dude. Like you could get like
it's opposite.
We don't want to make him sad. So send him some nasty tweets. Like, what the hell?
Well, I was
Let's take a
thinking more.
180 real quick.
I
What
was
the shit
thinking.
happened?
It's like I don't want Break to feel bad. By the way, Break, I fucked your mother.
Well, and I was actually what I was thinking. You guys had the bad impression. I was thinking that like if there were any groupies, if they wanted to send Breakman, pictures of their tops off, so Freak Five could send his pics.
That kind of nasty.
Huh?
That kind of nasty.
Well, that I don't know if Breakman feels that way. I mean, you gotta send them. Send
No,
them.
not tits. I don't want to see tits.
Freaking in chat was saying, so he says he listens live and he doesn't listen at work anymore, so he doesn't come up with questions or comments. Like, dude, you don't have to apologize, man. You've sent us more than anybody ever, and we appreciate it. We're just saying that there were a lot of people that were commenting when we started doing this on YouTube, and all of a sudden they're gone. No, we're not trying to put any blame on you.
Yeah, I think they were turned off by our shutdown of the
I don't mean to
pizza.
imply anything.
We
I
love
my
Freak.
It's your fault.
Frank will give you the biggest hug ever next time you see him.
Oh God, how dare you! How dare you!
He'll give
Biggest
you the
hug.
biggest hug ever with tongue.
How dare you! How dare you guys! I would never be caught dead hugging Freak Five Chaos. So take that for what it is. Although he's a cool.
We know you're not going to be dead when you do it. You don't have to tell us.
How dare you? I'm never gonna die. That's the whole point, So all right. So what have you been playing, Breakman?
Same old. Record Keeper, Final Fantasy, and Plants vs Zombies 2. And I've beat most of the worlds now. There's only a couple left, I think. I take that back because they added some harder levels in some of the older worlds. I haven't done that yet, so I gotta go do that.
Okay.
But still such a fun game. It's so weird to come back and play it. Like it'd been a couple years before since I'd last played it.
Freak Five's exiled.
And it's still so much fun. What?
I just said Freak Five is exiled. That's pretty much par for the course. But go ahead.
Say, doesn't that go without saying, really?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, continue on.
But I was just saying, like, it's just cool how it's changed and they've kept upgrading and stuff like that since I've last played it, and come back and find all this cool stuff. And I think probably it'd be the same thing for people who played Record Keeper. Maybe if you played that a year or two ago and you go back and play it now, it's almost a completely different game.
Yeah.
But still, it's still a lot of fun. And so those and Fallout, and I'm down to 2 DLC packs now.
Ooh,
so,
you're getting down to the
so
nitty.
I might be done in a couple months.
Yeah.
With this game finally.
I know,
I might have done almost everything you can do.
That's actually really cool that you got that much gameplay out of that game, dude. I mean, it's already a big game, as it is. So that's cool, man. That you've been.
I do like getting my money's worth from the game. Like, and I've gotten, I think, more than my money's worth for this.
Yeah.
Because let me see, the original game, and then the DLC packs. Probably trying to think how much I spent on this game. It was on sale when I bought it, so I think I've spent $60 on the game.
Yeah. Anytime you can
And-
get that
and-
much, that's good, man. For sure.
Yeah, and as much as I've played this game, I can't complain.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't complain at all. It's not like some of the games I've bought in the past where it's like, um, nothing comes to mind at this moment. But you buy a game and then you play it for like 20 minutes, and it's like, oh, okay, this is this is a fun game, but I was having more fun with this other game that I was already playing.
Yeah.
You can go back to that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's
by the
cool,
way,
man.
just shifting gears real quick, I just wanted to say that I was just looking at something. I looked over on GOG.com, and they have a pretty massive sale going on. And one thing I saw in there is Darkest Dungeon is 60% off. So instead of 25, it's $10. So
Yeah,
That's a
not
good
bad.
sale.
Not bad at all. Freak Five's talking about playing Merge Dragons on his phone. It amuses him, but he has a shit ton of lock boxes that he can't open because he has to use a special currency. And
Oh,
he's
fuck
not
any
spending
game that
money.
does that loot crates shit.
Yeah, no.
But Final Fantasy Record Keeper does that. Don't sell my Record Keeper.
Yeah, but do you buy them? Do you buy like?
No,
packs?
I have not.
You don't have to.
That's one thing about Record Keeper is as long as I've played it, I've never spent a dime on this game.
Yeah.
I can't say that about Plants vs Zombies because I have bought like plants and power ups and stuff.
Yeah.
When they put them on sale for $1, I'm like, okay, I'll buy that.
Like the amount of time that I've been playing Marvel Puzzle Quest has been worth it for me. So it was about a year ago I bought like $20 worth of stuff, and I've definitely got
Yeah, like I kind of feel as much as I've played Record Keeper, like I should buy something just because. Like I've played
Yeah.
so much of the game. Here's some money, Here, just take it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just leave $20 right here on my nightstand, and I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look back. So if it disappeared, it just happened.
Yeah. All right, Mug, what have you been playing?
I have been playing. Well, I I was playing E7 on PC for a little while. I got distracted. So I was playing some playthrough. There was a sale on the that Biohazard bundle thing for the Prototype 1 and 2 on PS4,
Mhm.
and there was a whole thing when they first came out about what shitty ports they were, and apparently the Xbox One version was really really bad.
Mm.
But the PS4 versions, they run pretty much exactly like the PS3 versions. So they stay pretty steady, 30 frames per second, and they're 1080p. That's the one thing that's different about them. So I just finished the second one yesterday, and I've also been playing Metroid: Samus Returns and East 8: Lacrimosa of Dana.
Nice. Any thoughts, impressions so far, or you want to hold off?
Well, I mean, I've only put I'm about 45% of the way through Metroid, and so far, I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's Metroid. I mean, it's like I don't know what more you want. And I've seen some people complaining about like the melee counter system and everything. I'm like,
brother.
I think it works just fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's a unique edition. Can see where people would be like,
Mhm.
that's kind of odd. And the game is harder than the average Metroid. Certainly harder than Super Metroid. I would put it probably on par with the original.
Mm-hmm.
In that regard, because like if you're not careful, like the enemies hit really hard and they will knock your ass down.
I saw like 3 or 4 videos of that game, and it struck me as being almost a perfect game. Like I thought the inclusion of, I mean, without playing it, I can't get a feel of how well it controls. But
Controls extremely well.
well, then then if I were to play it, I probably would give that game a perfect score, because it's one of those games where if you get that simple mechanic down, the melee mechanic, you can pretty much cut down the effectiveness of almost anything. So I mean, my initial impressions from seeing it on not even how I should be seeing it, I think it looks fantastic. So I think
I
it's
mean,
every.
it's fun structurally. It's
Hmm.
a little weird. I mean, but like it's limited by the fact that it is a remake of Metroid 2, which was made with the limitations of the Game Boy in mind.
Hmm. Hmm.
The fact that you're out to exterminate stuff, and so it means you're hitting it's kind of a you're exploring your way through a boss rush. It's essentially like the structure of Metroid 2.
Hmm.
It's and what's interesting, what I'm kind of waiting to see is like, in the end, will I prefer Metroid, Samus Returns or
AMR.
AM2?
Yeah, AM2R. Yeah.
And
That's pretty much what I've been saying. I mean, what there's not much to complain about that game. I mean, if you're complaining about that new melee mechanic, then you're off base because that it seems like that adds a new dimension to that game that would pique the interest of a lot of people. So I think, I mean, there's some sacred cows in gaming, and I think Metroid for me is one of those sacred cows. Like
yeah.
I
Well, and the
haven't
thing
seen.
is, I've always liked the core series.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I was always one of those ones, like, I played Metroid 2, back in the day. And actually I had my original cart for the longest time, and I only sold it very recently.
Yeah.
Um, and but I always was kind of like, it's an underappreciated game
Yeah,
because
that game
it
is.
was.
Yeah, that game
Which
is
I mean,
which
like
one?
great.
Metroid 2, like,
Yeah,
it really,
Okay.
like, the original Game Boy game really has not aged well at
yeah,
all.
yeah. No.
I mean, it was rough around the edges, but it played better than the original Metroid in basically every possible sense.
Yeah.
But structurally, it was like, I mean, there is a reason that the series went away from that extremely linear sort of approach.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but I mean, it's still a good game, and it's like, and I'm glad that they finally put out a remake of it, because
Cra-
it really needed one.
yeah.
And it's
Crazy
like,
Jane in the YouTube chat says she's heard the 3D effects work well. Can you talk about the 3D effects at all?
I'm just using like a regular 3DS,
Ah,
so I don't
okay.
use them as much,
Mm.
just because it doesn't have like the face tracking and everything.
Ah, I gotcha.
But the 3D effects are very nice. It's they're some of the better looking 3D that I've seen on the system, but it's not like, say, A Link Between Worlds, where the 3D can actually be beneficial to the gameplay. It's
Ah, I
just
got you.
aesthetic.
It looks
Um,
pretty, and I could see where 3D might look really good on it too. Now that'll is it a game specifically designed for the new 3DSs, or can you
Now you
play
can
it?
play. I mean, I'm just playing it on the on a regular one. So I mean, and
Yeah,
I haven't had the one thing that it's kind of hampered by the age of. I mean, the 3DS is 6-year-old hardware at this
yeah,
point,
yeah,
and the game, it runs. It seems to run at like 30 frames per second. And there's a couple bits where the frame rate dips a tiny bit.
mm,
Um, but it's like, when you're used to playing the 2D games that all run at 60 frames per second, it does take a little bit
I
of
didn't
getting
know
used
any. I didn't notice any frame rate dips on my new 3DS though.
well, that's
to.
because
And
you
yeah,
have a
you're
new
probably, yeah,
3DS.
you
Yeah,
probably wouldn't, since it can
yeah.
take advantage of that. But I mean, it's still absolutely 100% playable on a regular
Are they
3DS.
gonna have any Metroid 3DS bundles come this holiday? Because that'd be something I'd be interested
Bundles?
in getting. Yeah, like
Bundles, I don't know about. There is a new 2DS model that's like Metroid based.
yeah, I saw
Uh,
that. I don't.
Well, there was a new Metroid Samus Returns 3 theme 3DS.
Oh, there
I thought
was.
it was a 2DS.
I thought it was a 2DS too.
No,
Um,
it's a 3DS.
oh shit, then that'll be the one that I'd probably get if I had the money. But
Don't you already have a 3DS?
yeah, I got a Zelda one, but it's the older model. I don't want to have the problems like drop frame rates at any given.
Mhm.
Frame rate is becoming the
Also, you
biggest.
currently don't have it right now anyway, right?
Yeah, I don't at the moment. But honestly, frame rate is probably going to be my biggest thing going forward with games. The graphics are ridiculous now. They're so good that I don't even worry about graphics anymore. I worry more about frame rate. So you know. So let's move on. Let's see. Did I get everybody at? Oh, Eric, what have you been playing? Or did I get you?
Just more Hakuoki Kyoto wins. I'm trying to get that done before I hit the gigantic glut of reviews I have for this season. I decided I wouldn't even touch it until I finish this game because I want to get that game off of my Vita memory card and get the review written out so I could start Color X Malice.
Yeah.
And then play that slowly while I get all my other stuff done.
Yeah, that's cool, man. You
But
got
other than that, I played and beat Metroid Samus Returns over the weekend where I was at the wedding.
great. That's awesome, man.
I'll have a review later if you want that.
Yeah, in a little bit. We're gonna be doing reviews now. So if you wanna, I think you and. Can you give an honest review of it, Mug?
Before we do reviews, Freak just wanted to point out that Frank's first graphics were chalk drawings on cave walls.
How dare you? How dare you, Freak? How dare you break, man? Break the.
I thought that was an important news bulletin that everybody should know.
How dare you? I'm
This
walking.
day-
Were you asking me for a review of what? Of Metroid?
Yeah, a review of Metroid because Eric has finished it. You've played a good chunk of it, so I'm wondering, should we hold off on Metroid until next week because that seems to be.
Yeah, I would. Let me wait until I've finished the game because up to this point I've only fought Alpha and Gamma Metroids. I haven't fought any of the Zeta or Omegas.
Okay.
So and I don't know if the game does anything special. Like remember how Zero Mission had the post game.
Yep.
Like extra mission thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if Samus Returns does anything like that, and I don't want to I'll say that my initial impressions are positive, but I'm not blown away.
Okay.
I love Zero Mission and
yes,
Fusion.
they were great games.
Zero Mission is
Good
my
games.
favorite of the two.
Zero Mission is great.
Zero Mission was really good.
Yeah.
Fusion's the only problem was its pacing.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
The pacing, and also it had a couple of really obnoxious difficulty spikes. The nightmare boss battle was insanely hard.
Well, for me, it was either Nightmare was really hard or just took a long time to finish.
Yeah. All right, let's do some reviews then. Let's get these out of the way. Eric, you have a review of the Annabelle and Annabelle Creation. Can we get through these real quick? I'll do my review real quick too.
Annabelle, I'll just talk about Annabelle Creation because fuck yeah.
Oh god, the first one was so bad.
Anyways, I spent my time watching it over the weekend in portions. Because I couldn't stand watching it for 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah, Annabelle is really hard to watch. It's a shitty movie, but go ahead.
It's terrible editing. And the special effects are practically non-existent.
Oh god, man.
Well, actually, I have a question there, Eric. You say the editing is really bad. Is it Resident Evil: The Final Chapter bad?
In some cases, yes, but for most of the time, it's all right, I guess.
Yeah, it's oh god.
It's bad when it needs to be good, and it's good when it doesn't really need to be good.
I think I reviewed Annabelle when it came out, and I said at the time, if I remember correctly, it was one of the worst horror movies I think I'd ever seen, but and not in a good way.
This movie, they would have made it an origin story, but instead it was just how it ended up in the Warrens and doesn't even really explain that.
Yeah. All right, move on to Annabelle Creation, man. What are we doing there?
Annabelle Creation is the actual origin story.
Yeah.
Where this couple living out in basically a country town, I guess, have a daughter, and their tire goes down on the way back home from church, and he goes to fix it. One of the lug nuts from the tire falls out. She tries to get it. She gets run over by a car. 12 years later, they decide that they let these girls from an orphanage, church-run orphanage, to, I guess they lost their orphanage. They kind of had temporary housing. Decided to let them stay for a while, and apparently we come to learn that the Annabelle doll had been possessed by a demon, and they tricked the couple into thinking that it was the spirit of their dead daughter. So like they apparently put an end to it, but they put seals all over it and locked it up in a room. But the seals apparently have started the weekend, and it's starting to wreak havoc again. And basically, possesses this friend of this girl. And like, I guess the bad part of this movie is they basically had a chance to empower a disabled person, and they kind of didn't.
Yeah, yeah. That was pretty much the only criticism I had of the second, or the prequel. But
Otherwise, it's a
Well,
decent
Are-
in the vein of the other
yeah,
Conjuring films.
it was night and day compared to the first Annabelle. I was actually really
the
super
Conjuring
surprised.
films are based on like real life, or these.
Yeah.
Well,
The
no, that's like they're
Warrens.
based on like the two real people who are
Right.
frauds and
Yeah,
charlatans.
yeah, yeah.
Well, right. But these are like undocumented video of like this this stuff happening. But
Yeah,
it-
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like
But I'm saying, are these based on real, on anything real, or is it just?
Yes, it's another. The Warrens have like this big book
Well-
of stories, is what I call them,
Okay.
and
And I would think that's probably why they didn't empower the handicapped person, because they were trying to keep it as accurate to that maybe as possible.
maybe I don't know. Look, I love these movies, right? I love The Conjuring, The Conjuring 2, Insidious. What else?
so bad.
No,
Though.
I like them. I just like them.
Well, the first Conjuring was bad. I
like.
don't disagree
Never-
with that.
I
I mean,
never
it was
watched any of the
enjoyable,
other
but
No,
an
I
enjoyable
liked 'em.
movie doesn't necessarily have to be good to be enjoyable.
I like the
I-
first Conjuring.
Yeah,
like
so did
Conjuring.
I.
I just
I
didn't like
like-
Annabelle.
I like
So-
both of them.
I couldn't even bear to watch any of the other related films.
No,
hated the
I
Conjuring.
like them, and I was
Yeah, see,
excited.
that's my problem. It's like I keep hearing Annabelle 2 is really good, but
Oh,
Annabelle was so bad.
No, the second one, dude, I felt the same way. I wasn't gonna go see Annabelle Creation, but I heard some good things about it, and I'm like, I haven't seen a good sequel in a while.
I'll give the score for Annabelle and Annabelle Creation right now. Annabelle gets a 3, and Annabelle Creation gets a 7.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, dude, it's that stark of a difference. I can see where Eric would do that. It's good. It's really good. I like the second one quite a bit. It was as good as an improvement a sequel has ever done, in my opinion, and that's
So
saying
it takes place in the like 40s, so it's like period piece. Well, actually, no. By the time the movie actually takes place, after dispensing with the backstory, it's actually like early 60s, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's a good movie. I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, Breakman, watch it, because it's night and day over the first one. It's a lot better. The scares.
Maybe I'll rent it sometime.
Yeah, for sure. The scares are a lot tighter. I mean, it's standard fare for the most part, but the direction is tight, the editing is tight, the pacing is right. It just seems like a good movie. It's not quite great, but it's definitely not the first one. The first one was just god awful. So, all right, you have another review, Eric. What's your
Lupin the Third, the Castle of Cagliostro. See, I own this movie on DVD, the manga entertainment release, but I hadn't actually watched it until I saw it in the theaters. And I'm good to say right now that I think it's probably due to licensing issues, but they couldn't use the manga entertainment's dub, so they used the Streamline Pictures dub, which is awful because they decided, out of all of the Japanese names that exist in this film, let's see, Zenigata, Jigen, and Goemon, and Fujiko, the one Western name, Lupin, is transliterated as the wolf. So they kept referring to him as the wolf or wolf. And why?
I don't know. It seems okay, but all right.
The G is silent, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Anyways, this movie is it's actually Hayao Miyazaki's first directorial debut.
yeah.
So it's the first movie he's ever done. But it's about how he returns to this castle that he once tried to steal from in the past, but was chased off because the security was too tight. And he just happens upon it by like coincidence because they happen to be in the area. And this is all precipitated by a girl being chased by some of the people of the castle, because the idea is that this guy is trying to marry her in order to get access to the ring she has, which they can use to get into the holds of the castle to look for the treasure that's buried within it. But he decides to try his hand again, and it's basically just a big caper there. And even for the time that the movie was released, there's lots of good camera angle shots and decent animation. 79. So I'm just giving you context there. So I guess for 79, it was hard to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I do not like the Streamline Pictures dub. It's dry at times.
Yeah.
And the whole wolf thing bothers me. But the dub for Manga Entertainment's slightly better, but they decided to make it edgier by having them swear a lot more. I haven't even watched the entire thing. I just watched 37 minutes of it just to get an idea of where it was going and who all the voice actors were.
Dungeon Buster says it's a fun watch. Spielberg was said to be inspired by the card chase scene. So,
but anyways, the transfer in the movie theater was actually really well done. So it's actually the second remaster of the film, because the DVD I have is a remaster of that. But it was made back in the old days of DVDs when DVDs were not double layered and didn't have art on the front of the disc.
Yeah.
I don't even think it has a side B. It just says side A. It's because as a single label, and it's only a single layer disc.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you put side A for something that doesn't even have a side B?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the DVD of The Stand?
The Stand?
Miniseries? Yeah,
No.
like the miniseries. Like, I think it was to my knowledge, if there were ever any others that were made this way, I don't know of them. But it was the first and I think only DVD 18, which is where it was dual-sided. It was a flip disc. But both sides were dual layered.
Oh shit! I didn't know. I've had discs where you had to turn them over to get the other version of the movie. Like side A would be like the normal cut, and then side B would be the director's cut.
The Stand was, remember, it was a 4 episode miniseries. So like 4 90-minute segments, not without ads.
Yep.
So like the DVD was manufactured such that you got the entire thing on one disc. You just had to flip it. Which was pretty impressive for the time. But I mean, granted, it was the miniseries of The Stand, which wasn't fantastic.
No, it wasn't great. I was disappointed in The Stand, but
anyways, I'm looking forward to getting the Blu-ray of this and selling my DVD. But I'm wondering if they'll have a second dub track that includes Manga Entertainment's dub. Maybe they can work out something there. But for as far as the theater presentation went, I kind of wish that they could work something out.
Yeah.
Because that dub's. But
So what are you gonna give it so far, Matt? Or you want to hold off on the score?
I'll give it a score. So I'll give it a 9.5.
Oh shit! Nice, man.
It's got a simple damsel in distress rescues girls story, but but in a modern setting, so I guess it's okay.
Of course, you could always play the movie by playing Cliffhanger. Remember that?
No.
You don't know about that? It's a game. It's a Laserdisc game called Cliffhanger, where it's all done using footage from Castle of Cagliostro.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Really?
That's kind of cool.
I'm not kidding. You should check it out. It's just like it. The game is nearly unplayable.
So they just subbed out Lupin with Stallone. A bad rendering of Stallone.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, it's literally they just cut footage from the movie.
Yeah.
And they put it into a Laserdisc game format. Like it plays like Dragon's Lair.
How weird. Yeah. All right. So
look it up. Look it up on YouTube. It's weird. It's called Cliffhanger. Like 2 words.
Yeah. Hey, Eric, let's hold off on the Kingsman because that just came out.
Well, we all like John Lithgow, but come on, that was the movie they chose?
Yeah.
I Are you actually gonna say Kingsman Golden Circle?
I might, but let's give people at least a week to see it, dude. It just came out, so I don't
I'll
like
give
to.
you a preview then. It's not as good as the first movie, and the first movie isn't even that great. I mean, it was enjoyable, but being enjoyable doesn't not make it a good movie.
Right, right. Okay, well that's fair. Um, let's see, Breakman. You have a couple of reviews.
Yeah, a couple of actual TV shows. Both of them
Wait,
have
what about
what?
Samus? Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, we're
You said
doing
wait
that
on
next
Samus
week.
Returns.
Yeah,
Never mind.
yep. All right, break. Go ahead.
And the only reason I was bringing them up because we're getting close to October, and we've been talking about a lot of horror stuff, and
Yeah.
we'll be talking more about it. And I've watched two horror shows I've been watching for a while, and they both ended. And I can recommend one, and I can't recommend the other.
Yeah, I
It's
know
how
where you're
this comes
going.
down to.
Yeah, I know where you're going on this, but go ahead.
Oh, you do. So you've seen both of these shows?
I
take it?
have. I have not seen the last season of The Strain, but I hear mixed things. So, go ahead. I'll chime in.
Well, maybe we disagree. I don't know. We'll find out here.
Possibility.
Uh, I don't know when the one ended because I was watching on Netflix. I didn't watch it on Showtime when it originally aired. But Penny Dreadful.
Yes.
Basically, it's based on horror comics of the 19th century, early 19th century, or I'm sorry, late 19th century.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is like Dracula and werewolves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what this TV show does is it takes the legends of Frankenstein and his monster and Dracula and Werewolf in London and stuff like that, and they kind of mix them all together.
Yeah. It's okay. Now I'm assuming you did not like Penny Dreadful, right?
Penny Dreadful was a mixed bag, and I did watch it to the end. I was interested enough to watch it to the end, but this is definitely the show I would not recommend of the two.
I see. Now I'm the opposite. I would recommend Penny Dreadful and not The Strain. Now the reason I would recommend Penny Dreadful is because I actually thought that they did a pretty good, accurate job of the way that you kind of view those monsters. The only problem that I had with Penny Dreadful is they didn't have enough time in the third season to kind of because it's only 3 seasons. You can binge watch that in no time. But
yeah, and The Strain is the other one, and that's only 4 seasons.
Yeah. But to me, Penny Dreadful is a good series. I think if they would have had another 1 or 2 seasons, they could have made it a lot better.
But that was the creator's choice. He wanted to end at the 3rd season.
No.
I went and looked it up. I was reading about it. This was his choice.
No, I read in depth about that series because I used to do another show dealing with a lot of these horror stuff, and I read about Penny Dreadful, and I know what the creator of that series said, but what it really came down to was he didn't have the budget, which is a shame because that's pretty much the thing with all series. Like the budget keeps going up every season because you have to up the stakes, and you have to have bigger set pieces, and you have to pay your actors a little bit more to stay on, and all this.
Yeah, but this show had a lot of mixed bag and a lot of stories that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Dorian Gray. Why was he even a part of the story?
See, now that's the thing. Like, if they would have had another season to delve into that there was a whole interesting world brought up with Dorian Gray. There was
but they had 2 seasons before, and they spent a lot of time dwelling on things that they shouldn't have dwelled on. They could have. Look, it could have been done, but they just never got around to it.
What happened
that's on the creators.
Yeah, what happened was there was too much time devoted to certain things and not enough time devoted to what you're talking about, and that's what I'm saying. Like the original vision for Penny Dreadful was based on those little books, those Penny Dreadfuls they used to call them, and each one had a story arc. And they didn't have time proper time to finish Dorian Gray's story arc or the female Frankenstein or all these intricate.
I just called her Living Dead Girl.
Yeah, Living Dead Girl.
I thought that was the most appropriate name for her,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah, no, that's an apt title, but no, I like Penny Dreadful quite a bit. I wish they would have had a bigger budget and more time. I
See,
would.
there are points of it I liked, but the way the show ended was just absolutely terrible.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more.
That's the ending is the main reason I could never recommend
Yeah,
it. Like
yep.
you don't want to get into it for the show to end the way it does. Like that's just no.
No, I totally agree with you, but again, that's because about midway through the third season, the guy was told that he wasn't going to get the budget for the that the fourth season wasn't coming, so he had to cram everything into like 3 or 4 episodes, and it definitely showed in those 3 or 4 episodes. I did like the way that they ended Frankenstein's story arc, so that was cool, but. Other than that, for me, it's a 7 out of 10. I thought it was above average, had a good budget, but
there are a lot of like weird oddities in the show. Like there are some really weird sex scenes in it.
Yeah, yeah.
For instance, what is that? There's a three-way where everybody's covered in blood and they're just
It's
was
very
a little bit
artsy.
on the weird side.
I liked it, but I can see where some people would be turned off. Now, what are you giving Penny Dreadful?
I see. I don't know because there are points where it's like this is really good. This is really interesting. Like I like some of the characters. Like I liked the psychic character. She's the main character, and I liked
Ava Green's character.
I like the cowboy, the werewolf in London, and Timothy Dalton. He was really good too.
Yeah. It had a solid cast for sure, but so I gave it 7.
But there were like characters like that they just kind of killed off and never really gave them much of a story. Like I can't remember what the guy's name was, but he was Timothy Dalton's friend from Africa.
Oh yeah, see that's another storyline that they didn't.
And you were saying that happened in the third season. They got that information, but they killed him off in the second season.
No, I know,
and they never gave him like. They never really fleshed him out as a character.
I know.
You know?
They just didn't have the time or the budget, dude. They had to get rid of so much shit. Like there's a lot of good reading on Penny Dreadful and why it ended the way that it did.
I'm not talking about the ending. I'm talking about the second season, like a character that they. Like he seemed like an interesting character. Like he had all these facial tattoos and stuff, and and at no point was there any? Did they ever go into really a backstory for him or anything?
That's definitely fair. Definitely fair break. All right, so move on to The Strain.
Okay, The Strain, and the reason I recommend it's because it actually ends in the fourth season. It gives kind of a this one actually gives a more satisfying ending to the show.
Yeah, I haven't seen the fourth season, but
I know. And this ends basically. It fast forwards a little. And I'll give you kind of the back for the first few seasons. And like Penny Dreadful, the show is definitely up and down. It can be really good at some points, and other points it's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing this for? But what the story is basically it's a modern day telling of vampires and invading New York, and not the Dracula, I'm gonna suck your blood and like with fangs through your neck and stuff. This is like the I guess I don't know what is it like kind of the older telling of vampires?
No, it's a newer telling of vampires. This is Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan's baby.
No, but I mean like the way they suck blood.
Oh,
I've seen that before somewhere.
Probably it was Blade 2 where you saw vampires sort of like that.
No. This is well, yeah, you're right about that. But I mean, this is like I thought I'd read somewhere like this was the basically instead of the fangs, what they do is like kind of a worm comes out of their mouth. Think of Alien.
Yeah,
like,
Alien.
sort of like that.
Yeah. No, that's
and
fair.
And they suck your blood like that. And basically they try and explain vampires as more of a parasite than a supernatural type thing. except for the master, which is he kind of has control over all the vampires and such. And the first season's kind of a slow build towards the vampires coming out and nobody believing them and such. But I think there's a really good backstory, especially between the Nazi and the Jewish survivor.
Yes, that was good.
I really love their story, and that comes to a satisfying conclusion in this season.
I'm looking forward to that then.
So the fourth season basically, as the first few seasons, it starts out as the vampire, the master arrives in New York and he starts spreading his infection, which are these worms. If they get in you or if they bite you or any point, you're infected right away. It's too late. You're already one of them, which comes into play at a lot of points. So if you're infected, there's no cure and you have to die, or you become the pawn of the master and everybody sees. He gets all of your information at that point.
You know what I love most about that story is the political intrigue that's in it. It has a lot of good political storylines that kick ass, in my opinion. But I don't think they did enough of that to.
Yeah. Well, in the first season, they spend a lot of time dealing with the divorce of the main character and the fight with his wife and his son over his custody of his son and stuff. And it's like, why are we doing with all this? Well, it kind of plays out that, and kind of a little bit of a spoiler, I guess, because it's really for the third and fourth season, that his son basically grows to hate his father and he joins the vampires.
Yeah.
Which is a big plot point. And at the end of the third season, which you saw, Frank, he actually nukes New York City.
Yeah.
His son does. So in the fourth season, we fast forward to, I guess, a year later, several months later, something like that, and the vampires have kind of formed basically they've taken control of the world at this point because of the nuclear fallout of the war, or the nukes going off and such. The sun has been basically blotted out at this point. So now the vampires got full reign, and basically our heroes are fighting against extinction at this point.
Yeah.
And I think it really leads up to more of a satisfying conclusion. And
Yeah. So what would you give this strain overall, man?
I guess 6.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Above average, that's definitely fair.
Yeah.
Dungeon Buster's Doppelganger has joined chat, and MXT said.
So if you like horror shows, you know how horror can be.
Yeah.
But this one has a.
I love horror shows. Oh wait.
MXT said.
I love horror shows. Anybody else see Friday the 13th, the TV show?
Oh God.
Never
How
mind.
dare you.
Forget.
Exiled.
Freddy's Nightmare.
Yeah, or the Nightmare ones, whatever that would. Nightmare on Elm Street, the series.
Freddy's Nightmares.
Yeah, Freddy's Nightmares. MXT says RIP DMT. I've been thinking about doing a one-off DMT for Halloween. I don't know. I'll think about that, MXT. Okay.
I just mean it's so rare to get a Tales from the Crypt, and I'm not definitely comparing either one of these shows from Tales to Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
And I'd say special effects wise, I think Penny Dreadful did better on their special effects.
Well, they had a bigger budget at first. Mug, you have a review of the movie It. Let's do it.
Yes. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, when I went into it thinking I've read the novel. And I've seen the original miniseries. I didn't. It was never one of my favorites of King's books. It's, if you've read the novel or you've read about the novel, you know that it's one of these stranger, one of the stranger books that he's written. That's not just in the midst of one of his, drug and alcohol binges.
Yeah.
Like Dreamcatcher or something like that.
Yeah.
But I will say that one thing that actually really kind of impressed me was when I found out, so I looked at it, I'm like, I was guessing how much money am I looking at here on the screen, and I was gonna say 50, 60 million is what I was guessing at based on the visuals and just the general production values and everything.
Yeah.
Turns out it's more like 30. I was like, so that was really impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
What's his name? Was it Stellan Skarsgård?
Yeah,
Who played,
no. Alex Skarsgård. Alex Skarsgård.
Alex Skarsgård.
Yeah.
And who played Pennywise. And holy crap, he did a great job.
He's so good. He was so good in that
fantastic.
movie.
It's like,
yeah.
There's a lot of love for Tim Curry.
Yeah.
But it's like it is, his is much more clownish. I mean, like in the more traditional, just goofy sort of sense.
Yeah.
And he's not, he's fun to watch. He's a very engaging screen presence, but he's not at all scary. And I'll say it is not a scary movie.
I tend to disagree with you on that, Mug. I also saw it, and I thought it interesting that you said it wasn't scary. I thought it was miles scarier than the miniseries. I guess.
Oh, it is. But the thing is, maybe it's just that I've watched so many horror movies for so long.
Yeah.
But like, and I don't get freaked out by movies. Like the last movie that creeped me out in any way, shape, or form was The Ring. And that's because I was like, well, I've literally never seen anything quite like that.
Yeah.
But I thought the acting was really good. The standout was Finn Wolfhard as Richie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he had all the best lines. He's the smart ass character.
Yeah.
There are certain bits where the movie feels really abbreviated.
Yes. Yes.
The characters, like the Jewish kid who's like the names are failing. I think, and the black kid, I think his name was Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did not get enough screen time. They didn't get developed well.
Totally agree with you on that. Totally agree.
I thought that I cannot remember her name, but the girl who played Bethany. She was fantastic.
She was perfect.
Like, holy crap!
Yeah.
Like that, I was kind of like when I saw what's her name? The girl in Stranger Things.
Eleven or L.
Millie Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown is her name.
Yeah. And I was thinking like she has a name that's almost exactly like a celebrity's name, but I can't think of it. Millie Bobby Brown. But like it was that good.
Yeah,
as good as Millie Bobby Brown was in Stranger Things, the girl who played Bethany is that good. I'm like, yes, I need to see more of her. She's great. She's going places.
Yeah.
The effects were great. And I thought that the way that they set it, the way that they structured it, it's like this isn't really a spoiler to say this, but they don't do any of the current day stuff. It's purely an 80s period piece, which works greatly to the film. Like it keeps the film from getting too diluted. It keeps it from getting over long, and it also gives it this sort of a Stand By Me sort of feel. And Stand By Me is a fantastic movie, and so you have this whole sense of like these kids put in this impossible situation and just having to deal with it. And it has some really great funny moments, like the gazebo line, which is fantastic. And I thought that the design of like the way that they handled the creature itself, because if you remember the miniseries, it was basically like, oh, they just did this kind of cheesy looking crab
spider
thing.
Yeah.
Yes, and which looked more like a crab. Kind of
spider crab.
Spines, it looked like a spider crab because it had all the weird spines and shit all over it. I'm just like, but it wasn't. What I would love to see is an extended cut, like on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like then maybe there was more development for the kids who didn't get enough screen time and everything.
Well, there is going to be an extended cut.
Oh, that's good.
Is there? Okay, good. That's that's good, as I'm interested in. Like that, it is a movie that it might be the best Stephen King adaptation I've seen.
I think it is.
Just in terms of like being true to the original and still being enjoyable in its own right. It's like you look at like Kubrick's The Shining is kind of like no pun intended, the shining example, but it also took kind of liberties and doesn't really a lot of resemblance.
And Stephen King famously hates it.
Yeah. No, but I love that
because
movie.
it took a lot of liberties. In fact, what the main liberty it took that really pissed him off is that it killed his hero.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. In the book, the one character's supposed to be a hero, but in the movie they kill him really quick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I've also seen the miniseries, which is much closer, which stays much truer to the book.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
didn't. I
hate
didn't
it.
like the
Although the
miniseries.
kid that they chose to play Danny was just weird looking. He had like this weird like always open mouths, and it's like his lips always looked pursed, and his mouth was literally always open, and it's just like that's really distracting.
Yeah.
Mm.
So what are you
But
giving?
it's
What
like
are you giving
the,
it?
the movie itself, I would say, it didn't hit it didn't hit all the notes, but it
Mhm.
hit most of them. I would say, I'll give it a 7.5 out of
Yeah,
10.
no, that's fair. I think I gave it a 9 because I actually thought it upped the scare. That scene that they show in the previews, it's not really a spoiler, but where they show Pennywise in the projector, I thought that shit was good. That reminded me a lot of Sinister when I first watched Sinister. It scared the shit out of me, but
You
yeah.
said Pennywise kind of looks like a hell beast from like some kind of a some kind of a Lovecraft story, or like maybe he sort of resembles the creature from Stranger Things.
Uh,
Was Sinister the one where the monster looked like Darth Maul?
no, no.
What's that?
That
Which one was that one?
Insidious. You're thinking Insidious.
Oh, Insidious. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that one sucked. I was thinking, why do you like
I
that
like
movie?
Insidious. I like the first one.
Really? That one
Yeah.
sucked.
No, I like the first one.
I
The
can't.
first one's
It's like
good.
I've seen the first Insidious. I think isn't that the one with the weird Darth Maul looking
Yeah,
thing?
yeah,
That's
I
what
saw
I
the
just
third
said.
one.
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw all the Insidious movies.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like them. I take them for what they are, just popcorn fun. But I liked quite a bit. But
So the only thing I liked about the
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say it was a very enjoyable movie. And I don't regret at all spending the money to go see it in a theater, and I will
yeah,
probably pick it up on Blu-ray, especially if there's an extended cut,
yeah,
which might make me might make me like it better than I already do.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
was very pleased with it, and I do like that. They said like part two is coming. It's like so they're and I was like that's brilliant. It's perfectly structured,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really looking forward to the follow up.
Yeah, me too. I think the next one's gonna be even better if that's even possible. But I have a review for a movie called Mother, and I was taken aback and surprised. The trailer doesn't do the movie justice. The trailer makes you think that it's a pure horror movie, but it's basically an allegorical movie, meaning a bunch of things. But it was scary, but not scary in the way that I think the Mother trailer is one of the best trailers I think I've ever seen in my life. I kid you not. That trailer was so suspenseful and eerie and atmospheric. And in one respect, I was disappointed when I went and saw the movie, but in thinking about it, I think Mother is a great movie. It's Aronofsky. He did Requiem for the Dream, so you can kind of think of imagery along those lines.
I hated that movie.
Is it like Kiss the Sky weird?
No,
Like
it is
apparently
weird.
vampires kisses.
Um,
Requiem for a Dream was such a fucking downer, man.
It is, it
God.
is.
Yeah, it's like the thing is,
I've never seen that.
it's good.
it is.
Yeah.
I have a phrase that I use to describe that movie. It is an amazing film.
Yeah.
It is the best film I have ever not enjoyed watching.
See, that's how I felt coming out of Mother. It's probably one of the best movies I've not enjoyed at the theater. Like honestly, like that, it couldn't be better. Like I love this movie, but it's not something that I can, just
It's like
watch.
Requiem for a Dream. I watched it and I was just fucking Ellen Burstyn in that
Yeah.
movie.
Oh,
Is
she was
amazing.
great. Yeah.
She is. Didn't she win an Oscar for that? Because if she didn't, she should have.
I don't.
Requiem for a Dream should come with a box quote saying, "This movie feels like getting kicked in the balls."
That's kind of the way I felt about Mother. But Mother was powered by great performances and some striking visuals that there's one scene in particular that I know will stay with people for a very, very long time. It is shocking, an event that happens in that movie, but I think it's
Eric,
a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
I
I know. I want to check it out. I might do that tomorrow.
it's
I might
great.
go see. I might go see Ninjago tonight.
Oh, Ninjago, the Lego.
Okay, I've never watched the Ninjago TV show.
I saw the
Sure.
Rotten Tomato
The
reviews, and they're
previews for that
considerably
look
lower
hilarious.
than Batman
Oh,
and
yeah,
the first Lego movie.
It's getting
So I was like,
panned.
maybe I'll just wait for Redbox.
Yeah, just
The
wait.
the Ninjago previews look pretty damn funny to me.
It's based on a terrible TV show.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
seen the TV show,
the thing
and
is,
I have no
It's
interest.
just itself based on a line of toys.
I've never seen the show. I've never played with the toys. I don't really know anything about
That's kind of a cop out because most cartoons are based on toys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point of a lot of that's the point of about every action cartoon is to sell toys.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's the MO,
Creative.
man.
ever since the Reagan administration deregulated that shit.
Yeah, yeah. Mother, I'm gonna give a solid 8 out of 10. I can't recommend going to the theater to see it, but man, you got to see this movie. I can't give you any more than that. That's about the best I can do for Mother, but I thought it was great. All right, let's move on.
Dungeon Busters in chat says cartoons based on toys. Get out of here with your logic.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
We don't do logic on this show ever. Dungeon Buster knows that. We're not logical on this show. All right,
Well,
let's
from
go.
what I hear, most of the complaints revolve around how most of the movie's humor feels like it came out of a joke factory, but all the jokes are faulty.
Yeah. Let's see. Stinko's
Yeah,
there.
as long as it makes me laugh a lot, I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the previews made me laugh, so I was like, as long as all
Yeah.
the good jokes aren't in the previews, then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I saw like the first preview for it ever, and I was like, I'm not
There's
sure.
nothing. I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything wrong with like a comedy that just it's not anything but just funny.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Like
agree.
American Wedding comes to mind. Like that's not a good movie, but it's fucking funny as shit.
Oh, it's
Well,
like
it's kind of like the way I look at it, it's like Lego I don't think Lego Batman was nearly as good as the Lego movie,
Right.
but
yeah.
it was funny
Yeah.
throughout, and it's
Right.
almost a little like one of the things that I remember reading reviews for that was that like the jokes were so nonstop that you tended to miss some of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but it's like, but I enjoyed the Lego Batman movie, and it's like it was well made and everything. So it's just like if it's as good as Lego Batman or close to it, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
for
I just got the
instance,
feeling it's not going to be, so I'm not
Yeah.
gonna spend money in the theater to see it.
Yeah.
Me
that-
and Frank talked about like stoner comedies last
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly
you know a
what comes
movie
to
that
mind. Like
everybody
those are
loves
just
that I
stupid
fucking
fun
hated?
movies.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like a stoner comedy that everyone's just like, oh, this is a great movie, and I'm like, I cannot watch this.
Which
This is
one?
garbage.
Half
Dazed
Baked?
and Confused.
Oh, I don't like Dazed
Oh,
and
what?
Confused. Yeah, Dazed and
It's
Confused.
terrible.
Oh, I've never
don't
seen
like
Dazed
that.
And
and
I got
Confused.
about 25 minutes in. I'm like, I am so
Superbad was pretty terrible too.
No, I like
I was
Superbad.
hoping you were gonna say Half Baked, and then Frank was gonna freak
Never
out.
Oh, you say Half Baked and you're exiled off of this fucking show, man.
No, like I like Dave Chappelle too much. to
Should I
not
bother
say
with
Half Baked.
Pineapple Express?
Oh God, I love
Yes,
Pineapple Express.
is very
Yes.
fucking funny.
It's great. It's great. A lot of dope humor.
What about Hot Tub Time Machine?
I've
Skip.
never seen it.
Yeah, skip it. Just skip.
Skip it in the sequel.
Yep, skip them both.
What about Hangover?
Watch them.
This Hangover is well worth watching.
Yep,
Look,
definitely.
all you need to know about Pineapple Express is that
Weed.
Huey Lewis wrote a new song for Pineapple Express.
That
That's
actually is
that's
selling.
Yeah.
me.
All right.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he
I
be
know.
retired?
I
Yeah.
fucking love Huey Lewis, and I love the song too. I'm like, oh my god, it's a new song from.
But the question is it as good as Hip to Be Square? Which is really one of the catchiest songs ever written.
Oh my God, I hate that song so much.
What?
I'm not
Hip
saying
to Be
I'm not saying it's a great song, but
What about
it's
Hangover
it is-
2?
Yeah. Hangover 2 I would watch.
Yeah.
Hangover 3 not so much.
Yeah, it's like the thing is, it's like Hangover 2 is mostly a rehash of the first one.
Yeah.
It's decently funny. It has a couple of funny moments in it, but I mean, once you've watched the first one, you've really seen all you need to see of that
Yeah.
series.
All right.
I like the first two. I don't like the third
The first one is a genuinely good.
Are any
movie.
of these on streaming service for Netflix?
I don't think they are, to be honest with
I
you.
don't think so.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We got to hurry to get to our Stinkos and Sweetos. Let's see. Eric, you don't have one listed. Breakman,
Nope.
you don't have one listed, I don't think. And Mud,
Wait, we talking about Sweetos? My Sweeto was this last gasp of summer that we're getting here as far as Sweetos. I can't believe we're just now getting Sweetos. Jesus. Because I got a
Stinkos.
lull still.
Yeah, we were doing
Hmm.
Stinkos. But but let's
Did we do Stinkos? Shit,
no.
we didn't do Stinkos. God damn it!
No. So what do you? It doesn't look like you have one.
My Stinko goes to what did I had something I wrote down. Where's the show? I have to go down and scroll
You have
here.
nothing written down. All you have.
Oh, I didn't write anything down. Okay, well, never mind. We don't have enough time. Let's move on.
Right.
My Sweeto goes to the nice weather and the return of South Park television.
Yeah, I think that's my sweet.
Oh, I do remember my Stinko. Actually, it goes to the earthquakes ravaging Mexico.
Oh God, yeah.
And some of the horror that they're going through down there. Like, that's absolutely terrible. And our country, I think, has a responsibility to do everything we can to help our neighbors.
I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. We need
also, why isn't Puerto Rico a state already?
Exactly. And
actually,
there's actually there's a lot of that is a very deep subject.
Yeah.
Well, one of the main reasons is they actually don't want to be a state.
It depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
I mean, they voted on it.
They'd rather be a Commonwealth.
Yeah.
No, they voted on it, and the voters decided no.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not a Commonwealth. They're a U.S. territory.
Their territory. Yeah. All right. Let's quickly go through these. I don't see anything listed here.
At least I'm pretty sure they voted on it.
What's a territory mean? Basically, they just make the economic benefits of that place.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's, in essence, and everybody who's born there is a U.S. citizen. It is legally U.S. soil.
Yeah. Yeah.
No other country can come and lay claim to it.
Yeah, Dungeon Buster said something here. We are sorry you have earthquakes, but we still want you to pay for the wall. That's not happening. They're not building any wall. I'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, like the wall's not happening.
No, it's
not
not.
even a wall. It's a fence.
It's not happening. It's not happening. It's just not happening.
Which you fly drones over anyways, so who cares?
Oh God! I mean, the wall is such a stupid, pathetic, dumb, thing to latch onto.
It's just like every other lie he told on the campaign.
Exactly.
Exactly. Meant to stir up racist assholes.
Yep. Exactly.
What I say is, the longer he deals with this whole we're gonna get the wall done and stuff like that, he's not doing other shit.
He's not doing anything, and neither is Congress.
Right. I mean, he keeps coming back to the healthcare, which honestly we do need fixes to healthcare, but not the goal shouldn't be to completely destroy healthcare system as we know it.
Oh God,
we need to fix it.
That's a good segue into my stinko. Graham Cassidy bill. Now this bill is not a healthcare bill. It is basically saying we're going to take 32 million people off of healthcare while we decide what kind of healthcare we want, is basically what it is. Also, built in is, I believe it's around, God, I'm probably wrong. I think it's like 70 billion or 7 billion, 70 billion, something like that, somewhere in there. Billions of dollars in tax cuts for, guess who? The rich. But this was supposed to be the warm-up for the next tax reform, which I guarantee is going to pass. That's going to have trillions.
I don't guarantee anyone's going to pass. He still has a lot of opposition.
Dude, there is no opposition to tax cuts, and I'll tell you one reason why. Because the donors want their money, and they're going to get money on their return. They spend billions, millions and millions and millions that equate to billions of dollars paying off politicians for their votes. This is why I can't stand money in politics, because if there's anything that's going to pass in this Congress, it's going to be tax, quote, reform, which in reality is tax cuts for the rich.
We badly need tax reform too.
But we don't need this tax reform.
That's the thing, is we're not going to... that is the problem with what I said was going to happen with Trump getting in office. When he said tax reform, I'm like, yeah, he's doing tax reform for him and his friends.
Yep.
He doesn't mean tax reform for the rest of us.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's it's not reform, it's tax cuts.
We badly need tax reform. It's fucking ridiculous.
When you hear tax reform on the news, whether it's Fox or CNN or any of the mainstream outlets, it's tax cuts for the rich. That's
I wish the media had cared when Obama talked about Obamacare, like as much as they're protecting us with Trump care, you know?
Yeah.
They're saying this is what the problem is, but when Obamacare was going out there and he's saying, you know, this is what you're going to get, like you're going to be able to keep your doctor and stuff like that.
He's full
Nobody
of shit.
questioned him.
He's full of shit.
I know he was lying to us, and he knew he was lying, but he wasn't questioned.
Yeah.
But like because the media doesn't like Trump, they're going after him, and I'm not
Nobody-
complaining about that. But I'm saying they need to go after everybody,
Nobody
or
ever.
we're just going to keep getting fucked.
Nobody ever asks the hard questions on mainstream media anymore. Like, they never ask, well, in this bill, let's talk about the policy. In the policy, you're cutting this. They never talk about that. They always say,
Well, the thing is, you get it on some. Actually, that should say that you never see the hard questions being asked outside of print journalism. You're never going to see it on any of the news networks.
well, you don't even see it in print journalism, and there's a reason for that. Like, those media companies, like the Washington Post has a $600 million deal with the CIA, so they're not going to tell you the truth. The New York Times, same deal. They're owned by a mega donor. Like, all these people are big time donors to politicians, and that's why shit can never get done. Nothing ever gets done because we're tied to politicians that are beholden to donors and not the people, and that sucks. Dungeon Buster says we don't need Reaganomics Part 2. Trickle down economics is what he's talking about. And you know what trickle down economics does? It trickles on people. It doesn't trickle down to people. It trickles on.
The thing is, it's like the thing is, it's like I remember. Well, you just watched The Sopranos recently, so you might recognize this line.
Yeah.
But it was a line that Tony Soprano said to his crew. He said, "Shit rolls downhill, money comes up."
Yep. Absolutely, dude.
That is trickle down economics in 2 sentences.
Yep. No, I there's no question about it, man. It just doesn't work. Like, it's been proven time and time again. I think the reason that we're so desperate as a nation now to bully other countries and to, do all these type of things is because we're running out of money. Half of this country.
Well, I mean, it comes down to people struggling. If people weren't struggling, if they didn't have a reason in their lives to hate,
Yep. No, you're right.
That's where most bigotry comes from. Other than being, taught and passed down, it comes from you see, like, on television, for example, you're watching television, you see people are better off than you, or you're watching Fox News and you listen to that shit.
Well, the thing is, like, you have you have people being fed this narrative. Like, you have the average you have the average person in lower middle class or lower class, and I've been at various points in the economic spectrum, at various points in my life. I mean, I've spent many years of my life in positions where it's like, can I afford this? No, it's $5. I should save it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about, like, can I afford this, this fast food meal? I'm talking about, can I afford this staple food?
Yep. No,
Yeah.
I've been there too, man.
I've also been in positions where it says, I have plenty of money in my bank account. I could go out and what's interesting about that is, like, having when you're so used to not having money, having money in your bank account, it's like, well, I shouldn't spend it because I might need it.
Dude, I feel you, man. I'm in that boat now, man. If I see money now, it's like, whoa, holy shit, I've got $20, Damn, I could live.
Frank wrestles homeless people. He sees them holding out like a tub or something with some change.
How dare you?
He's like, hey, look at that! Sucker punches them.
The secret truth that Freak has been dying to know for all this time is that RPGrinders originally started as an episode of Bum Fight that Frank showed up on.
How dare you? How dare you? You son of a bitch, man! How dare you?
RPGrinders is a Bum Fight spinoff.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
The dirty truth has been revealed.
How dare you? It's been repealed. Look.
It was actually Out of the Chute spinoff.
Yeah, Out of the Chute spinoff. There you go.
Honestly, Bum
Yeah.
fights.
Out of the chute too. Thumb fights. How dare you? No. There's one other thing that's been bothering me, and I don't know if it bothers you guys, but anytime a white person is arrested for something, they're always clean cut, right? You always hear the expression clean cut.
That's the narrative. That's the shit you see on television.
Yeah,
I've seen in real life non-clean cut white people being arrested.
That's what I'm saying.
I've watched it happen.
Well, that's the media's problem.
This is what I'm saying. Anytime that a white person gets arrested for a crime, let's say it's drug related, right? It's always, he was a good neighbor, he was clean cut, always went to church.
Again, you're listening to narrative, Frank.
No, hold on.
You see on.
Hold on.
Well, no, I mean, I think that's the thing. He's not saying that this is he's agreeing with you. Is my point.
Right.
I can sum it all up in two fucking words.
All right.
Brock Turner.
Yeah.
Well, if Brock Turner had been black, that entire story would have played out very differently.
Oh, dude.
Okay. Yeah,
this is what I'm saying.
Okay, it took me. I was trying to think of who that was. Okay, I remember.
You're
definitely right about
that.
Okay. By the way, speaking of him, did you see that his picture is next to the definition of rape in like a college textbook?
Yeah.
I love that.
Here's the deal though. When you see somebody like Philando Castile, for instance, when we saw the narratives take place, you talk about narratives, Breakman.
I didn't talk about narratives. Did I?
Yeah, you
Maybe
were
I did.
saying.
I don't remember.
You brought it up like 4 times.
Yeah. How dare you?
All right, my bad.
No. But the narrative with black people or people of color is always, well, what did he have in his past? Was he a criminal? He had a rap sheet, blah blah blah. But
about that.
It is exactly like when women bring up rape allegations.
Yeah.
What were you wearing?
Yeah. What were you wearing? A low cropped dress? Did you have a mini skirt on? I mean, it's the same shit. When you see these narratives on TV, I think there should be a standard for media when they cover things. Cover them for what they are. If somebody committed a crime, they committed a crime. They're not clean cut, right? They're not.
Right.
They're not the nicest of people in the world. So let's just call it for what it is. And on the other side, if somebody commits a crime on another person, I don't think it's incumbent upon us to know if that person was a criminal. Who cares? The crime is what the crime was, not what that person did in their past or what you think of that person.
It's only relevant in the process of the justice system because it's like if there's a pattern of criminal behavior, that's relevant to the case.
No,
as far as like media coverage goes, it's like
I think that's a big problem too, is the media's access to a lot of trials. But at the same time, you want the media access because of all the corruption in the courts.
Yeah. No,
it's like a catch-22 that you can't.
I hate.
The problem is less the courts than it is the media in this sense because like anytime if a black person is arrested, or let's go beyond that. When a black person is shot by a police officer, the immediate thing is like you see all the the right-wing media outlets going on like, well, here's why this person was a bad guy and probably deserved it.
Right, like he was dealing drugs. He had a couple of arrests for speeding violations. There were like 5 arrests for no license and shit like that.
Yeah, as opposed to Brock Turner, what was the media coverage? His swim times.
Yep. I mean, it's unbelievable that
I wonder if that was as quick as his rape time.
Ugh. It's so weird. Like we
that
can't.
joke's a bit rough. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Dude.
No, I mean the thing is, that's not a rape joke. That's a making fun of a rapist joke.
Yeah. No,
I know,
it
wasn't as funny as it was in my head.
No. I just find it kind of appalling that the media always does this, and I don't understand why they don't change it. And the best answer, And the quickest answer, and probably the most truthful answer, is because there's a lot of racist pricks involved in media, and there's a lot of racist pricks involved in politics, as it's bearing out right now. And
I think the racism is coming from the top, usually, in the ownership.
People who are deeply invested in maintaining the status quo.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about that. Democrat or Republican. Remember what I said about tax reform? Remember this conversation in I'd say about a month's time, because they Democrats and Republicans will come together for one thing: tax cuts
to make
for the
more
rich.
money.
Right. And
that
and
is
where
the only thing they ever agree on.
Where
if it benefits both parties, if they can both make money.
Yeah.
Frank, you were 100% right.
Yeah. No, watch. I'm telling you, they will pass tax reform by the end of this next congressional session.
I'd imagine before they go on their holiday vacation.
Yep.
Which is another total bullshit thing. They get how many months off? 4 months a year?
Oh God, it's ridiculous, man. It's disgusting to talk about Congress, man, and the amount of money that they waste. I mean, just look at that. Who was it? Tom Price using those jets for personal use.
God damn it! Oh man, that shit pisses me off.
See, it's things like that, and Democrats are just as guilty as shit like that. So.
And one of those things that really irritates me is they're always quick to point it out there's like, look what they did over here, look what he did. Like to me, Congress acts like an elementary school.
Yeah.
Or maybe, you know what? I'd say not elementary school, because that's not fair to them. I'd say like a middle school, because they're a bunch of horny perverts too that like to rape children and shit like that. So like it's like a middle school.
Yeah. It's horrible, and we're not saying middle school children like to rape.
Wow, that's not what I meant. My bad. Thanks.
No, I just think
that's not what I meant.
No, I know that's. Not
you know
what
what
you meant.
Like it's immature children.
Yeah.
Acting immature because they don't know better.
Well, they know better.
I can understand with kids doing it, but with fucking grown adults.
Yeah. No, it's dude. I'm telling you.
The thing is, they are children. They're just old children.
I'm telling you.
They're wrinkly children.
This the wrinkly children. They all are beholden to their donors, and until we can get the donors out of their hair,
big pharma and oil,
I'll give you a good idea of why this is such a huge problem. John McCain lately has been kind of being a maverick, like how they say he's a maverick, because he's not running for re-election. He's almost at the end of his life. He's not beholden to the donors, so he's like, I'm gonna vote my conscience this time. Not I still think he's a piece of shit. I mean, trust me, I still think he sucks.
It's like I said, he'd rather obey the rules and make sure other people are obeying the rules than caring whether or not the rules are unjust.
No, I agree with that, but I'm just saying, like if you notice, he's not running for re-election, so he's not thinking of that big donor money. You know what I mean? So he's just voting the way that he wants to vote now. And I think that's the way it should be. We should get rid of Citizens United first off, and there should only be donations not from corporations.
It's so funny that it's called Citizens United when it's a bunch of rich fucks.
God, they're
and if there are more term limits, you would force more of them to make decisions based on what they actually were elected for, as opposed to what they think will get them reelected.
Yeah, no, I think term limits
and who's paying their bills.
Yeah. Term limits for sure. Getting rid of Citizens United, and I also think that no corporation should be allowed to donate money to politicians directly or indirectly, and that includes dark money. None of it. Get it out of politics. And I think
see that like dark money is illegal, but it still happens.
Yes,
like we need more oversight on Congress.
Absolutely, Breakman. And the way we do that is we make them. We cut off the money source from the corporations and we bring it back to the people. So if you want to support a candidate, you can. Small donations, not big donations. So if you're a billionaire, you have just as much say as me, who has no money, if I want to donate. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So there, whether it's $5, $10, $20, whatever the fucking limit that they pose on there, I'm good with that as long as it's not in the thousands of dollars. And then we're
One of the
talking.
things that really puzzles me about the wealthy is this. It seems to be like once you get to a certain point, like once you've amassed enough wealth, you get obsessed with the idea of getting more of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you were a multimillionaire, or like some of these people are multi-billionaires,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you give away $350 million.
It's not.
You're still one of the wealthiest people in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what do you need all this money
No,
for?
it's
weird.
It's like you're
Money
Gollum and you have to have the ring at all times.
Yeah, it's like
you know what? I think we should call this.
Money.
It's sickness.
Yeah,
No, I
like
think
that
we
kind of money is like you literally have more money than you could ever possibly spend.
Yeah, I think
we should call this the Scrooge McDuck syndrome.
yeah. Actually, no.
Because
There's something.
he's got all that money, and he just wants more money to swim in.
There's
Like he's got all the money and all the power.
In the new
but
show, it's actually his bank is actually pretty empty.
But every episode of DuckTales is Scrooge McDuck looking
Yeah.
for another artifact, looking
Yeah.
for more money.
Yeah. No, you're right. Like I think it can be best described in this greed. Basically, greed is
greed.
huh?
Greed isn't good, and Wall Street destroyed us.
It's greed.
Yeah.
And I mean, Wall Street the movie. That movie probably should have never been made.
Greed begets
Marcella.
greed. So I mean, the only reason for greed is to have more money, more greed. So it's just weird. Like the more money you have, the more you want it. It's like.
The more you want to preserve what you do have.
And it's weird because it should be the opposite. The more money you make, the more you should look to give. Because, when you die, everybody is the same. Like we don't take our money with us.
Okay, but think about this. Like I'm in Denver, which is not a cheap place to live.
No, it's not.
But you think the average person, living in an expensive, in a decently expensive city, making $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah. But
you're more than fine. Because you are consistently putting money in your bank account every week.
Yeah.
There's something that I read
I only
somewhere.
make about a third of that a year.
There's something I read somewhere that I think kind of sums up everything. And these are based on 2014 numbers. But there are 1,645 billionaires in this world, but not one Batman.
That's true, man.
I think like there's not like where is the one guy who is and Dungeon Buster in chat says like there's only like not everybody's Bill Gates with his philanthropy and such.
Philanthropy?
The philanthropy.
But I couldn't tell. It's like, are you screwing up or making fun of someone else who screwed up?
No, I screwed it up. No, it was me.
Okay, well, just remember you have to pronounce all four words.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for this week. We're a little.
Well,
over.
wait. Before we go, there's a lulls because after all this stuff,
shit.
I got a lulls in here, and I think we should cheer everybody up with this story that I have.
Yeah, let's do it.
Coming to us from Colorado.
Oh, look at this.
Colorado Springs police seek runner who won't stop pooping in front of a family's house.
Yeah, I've heard about this. The mad pooper.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, the mad pooper. Her children were the first to catch the runner mid-poop with her pants around her ankles. Immediately, they ran to get their mother. They're like, there's a lady taking a poop.
I think that's the name of this episode, the Mad Pooper. That for sure.
I think it's Frank has child porn.
Oh, how dare you! I do not. Look.
That's what you do.
No, I don't.
Before we wrap
I am
up,
not in possession of child porn. I will tell you that right now. At all.
I have child porn currently on my person.
Oh, get out of here, you son of a bitch.
Okay, well, hold on.
All right.
Let me read this a little bit here.
Yeah.
So the kids run inside and they're like, "There's a lady taking a poop." So the mom runs outside and she says, "Are you serious? Are you really taking a poop right here in front of my kids?" And the mad pooper goes, "Yeah, sorry."
What state is this?
What? Colorado.
You're in
Look,
Colorado.
This doesn't surprise me, and I'll tell you why, guys. Because
she has been doing this. Apparently, she keeps
Is she
doing
on
it.
roofie?
She brings toilet paper
reefer.
with her.
what?
Like she is planning to do it. Like she keeps doing it in front of this family's house. She leaves, like she wipes her ass.
Some people yes.
Does she leave the toilet paper behind too, or does she take that?
Yes, well, she
Oh
doesn't
my
take
God.
toilet paper with her. She doesn't take it with her. That'd just be weird.
Oh, God damn it! Look,
It's like one of the pooper scooper bags.
I think Mug and I need to take a trip down to Colorado Springs to do an interview with this person because that would be hilarious.
They haven't gotten arrested yet, anyway.
No, not them. The family, and we can.
Yes,
we
the
can
mad pooper, as of this story, has not been arrested yet. She has not been caught yet. But I heard about this story like on Monday, so I can't believe she hasn't been caught yet.
She
You
didn't
know,
wear a
what's
mask, so it's
surprising?
like, why haven't they identified her yet?
Yeah,
No,
it's not.
and there are more to it. Like at one point, the family put up a sign. I put a sign on the wall that said, "Please, I'm begging you, please stop." She ran by it like 15 times yesterday, and she still pooped.
Dude, I think this would be the coolest interview ever, man. See, now.
Well, why are you pooping in her yard? I had to go.
God,
Do you
no,
always
look,
Or she's eating to make yourself poop.
you know what? We really should.
maybe
I
it's
should.
the
I should
site
take
of the
a.
house is a laxative.
I should take a trip down there. The house, the side
She's
of the
running
house.
by, and she's like, "Oh,
Just-
God! Oh, finally, that's the house that makes me poop."
A laxative
I know what it
is
is.
transmitted
I know
by
what it is.
air.
Guys, I figured it out. The house is built upon an ancient Indian latrine.
No, dude, it's seriously like we should go down there, dude, and like do this interview with the family. And if the person ends up coming by, like do an interview with her while she's pooping and take video of it, and be like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you pooping on these poor people's lawn? And get her reaction.
I had to go. What? Why is everybody acting like this is weird? I had to poop.
Okay, before we go, I did want to comment on one thing that I thought was funny this week.
Yeah.
And was the fact that everybody in America now knows what the word dotard means.
Yeah. Dotard.
Although actually that's not entirely true because everyone's thinking like it means senility. It's like no. A dotard is someone who is in his dotage, which means old and weak. It doesn't actually have anything to do with senility.
And before you come up with the Frank jokes, that word describes Donald Trump to a T. Like
I wasn't thinking of any Frank jokes until you said that.
How dare
Now,
you?
the thing is that Frank is a different kind of tard, okay?
How dare you? How dare you? We're supposed to be politically correct on this show, Mug.
No,
and-
wait, whoa! I didn't get that
How
memo.
about this?
He's a tard, as in he's an old fart.
How dare you?
Yeah, it's like how about this? I can be both political and correct.
No, you can't. You're neither. You're
I
neither
am,
political.
I am both political and I'm correct because you are quite the tard.
You're definitely a hole. That's what you are.
You are definitely you're not even a dotard. You're a dotard.
Oh God, how dare you?
If he's the a-hole, are you the whole A?
Oh God, you guys.
What if Frank's really the mad pooper?
How dare you? I am not the mad pooper. I think it's MXT.
Frank's like, I am not the mad pooper. I am so constipated I haven't shit for weeks.
How dare
Really?
you?
MXT in chat says he bets Frank cross-dressing. That's
Oh,
interesting. You both accuse each other.
How dare you, MXT? I know
I
it's
think
you.
this might be a tag team effort.
I bet it's. I bet
That's
it's
why they
MXT.
can't catch them.
I bet.
Xavier Torres can shut her fucking mouth, okay?
How dare you guys? Look,
And so I was like, I don't think this is a fake story because they've shown
No.
pictures of the poop
Oh.
with toilet paper. And
Please tell me the
and
mad
they-
pooper's actually Ann Coulter.
Oh
They-
God!
They've been circulating pictures of her. They actually have caught this lady on video. They've kind of like showed her, So
Squatting.
this is unlike some of the stories I've been fooled on in the past. This seems to be a completely legitimate story.
Dude, I wouldn't doubt it because Colorado Springs is a strange place, man. It's Republican Central, man. It's
I
like
think every place has weird people. Like,
No.
if you just pay attention, like you'll find stories of people doing weird shit
Dude,
anywhere you go.
dude.
You mean like that Ohio guy that fucked a inner tube or something?
No. Look, I'm telling you guys, there's
the inflatable pools.
I can sum all this up in one thing. There are people who wind up in the hospital with light bulbs in their ass.
Oh.
I'm
Without
not
it
kidding.
being cracked or being
No, look.
cracked?
Yeah,
Look.
without it being cracked. And
There
they're
is
trying
a-
to get it out without shattering it. and
Hey,
causing them
everybody,
to
look
sear.
at this.
Dude,
I know.
Colorado Springs is one of the weirdest, scariest,
It's like a potato
creepiest,
light.
ickiest places ever, man. It's I used to work there extensively, and it's super conservative. The focus on the family is down there. They're very anti-weed, even though it's legal here. And oh god, it's Colorado Springs sucks. It's like Denver's redheaded stepchild or something. It's awful, man. But anyways, I'm not a big
I
fan.
thought
of,
we were being politically correct. What happened, Frank?
Oh fuck that, man! Come on,
suddenly redheads are victims.
you know how.
Our targets. Wait a minute. What am I going on? What did I
We're
say?
we're the most politically correct show ever. I'm telling you guys, man. This show right here. All
But at
right,
least we
guys.
got rid of them damn Nick.
Look, I think we need to end on
Oh,
that
God.
note. Jesus Christ,
Remember that
man.
episode?
Oh man, I'm so glad South Park is back. Like, it's such a great show. Just
It is.
such a great show.
South Park is pretty good, man. All right, Breakman, your plugs.
You should watch South Park on Comedy Central. It's back. Literally a couple episodes in. Thought the last episode was pretty hilarious because it was making fun of our president for all of his tweeting.
I gotta watch it, man. I haven't seen it.
Oh
I
yeah,
bet it's
he
amazing.
yeah. You obviously know him and his back and forth words with Kim Jong Un. That is really like two 5-year-olds fighting.
Oh God, man.
They're playing GI Joe. One of them's Cobra, with others like got General Hawk, and it's like, no, you like
What's
my
funny
Cobra
is-
commander shot you.
If
No,
we're
General Hawk can't die.
if we happen to still be on the air
Things,
next
though.
week, if we happen to still be on the air next week, maybe we might be in a
Today-
nuclear
today-
war.
Today is the day the world's supposed to end.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
scary.
at midnight apparently.
It's
I
getting
got it off by a day.
it's getting
I said it
getting pretty
yesterday
scary.
that, well,
All right, so we got Breakman's plugs. Let's go with Mug's plugs next.
I don't have any plugs.
Oh,
I am-
okay.
I'm not dark.
Because he told social media to
Yeah.
go suck one.
Exactly.
And I
Eric,
think you're right, rightfully so.
Eric, your plugs, please.
you could find me at sites I've written for, like totallegn.com. My East 8 review's up. And we were supposed to talk about localization, but we got off track.
Yeah, we'll talk localization next week. We won't have as many reviews next week. We'll just have the.
Yeah,
couple that
anyways,
we-
also other sites like bostonbastardbrigade.com and vognetwork.com and osgamers.com. I didn't get anything out this week because I was focused on trying to get my visual novel done.
Yeah. All right, is that it, Eric?
You can find me on Twitter at EricRPG, and then there's my YouTube channel, Funny T-Man.
All right.
And there's also my Patreon,
Okay.
Eric Kelly.
All right. Follow RP Grinders at RP Grinders on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Frank Branches if you want to be insulted and frowned upon. That would, that's par for the course for me. I mean, I just.
Well, the thing is,
I should
following
have-
you is insulting oneself. So
How
yeah.
dare you? How dare you? No, and I say a lot of controversial shit like I do on this show on Twitter. So there's that.
Like
I
I have
definitely
child
made some
porn.
people
Yeah.
mad.
Like,
How dare you? I never said that, you son of a bitch. No, but
I'm with you, Eric. Frank. I've definitely made some people mad on Twitter.
yeah. Make sure you check us out on the weekends on Saturday, 3 Eastern time on YouTube, Twitch, and Ustream. And if you can't catch us, obviously you're downloading us now on iTunes, Stitcher, etc., all the stuff. But we'd like to see you in chat. If you have any comments, tweet Breakman at RPGrinders, and he'll make sure and let us know on the show. I want to thank the chatters, Dungeon Buster, MXT, Wyland, and we had Crazy Jane, who was in the YouTube chat. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. And hope you stay safe this weekend. Till next week, we are out. Later, guys. Man pooping.
Yeah.
Poop, 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 pooping.
Time to play Mr. Hanky's theme.
Man pooping. Poop. All right, chat. Thank you guys so much. You guys rock. You guys know I love you so much, like I do. No, I do. Thanks for joining. I'm gonna end the stream, but you guys can catch me at the usual spots. I'm gonna do a GDP next week. I'm thinking I was gonna do it this weekend, but no, I'll do it next Friday probably, or this coming Friday, whatever. But,
Well, send me tweet me so I can tweet it out.
yeah, I haven't tweeted you anything because I haven't wanted to do it,
Okay.
but I'll tweet
No, I'm
you.
just reminding you.
I'll
Stop
include the
pooping, Eric.
grinders.
What?
I'll include. I'll include it. All right, guys in chat.
I just let you guys go. Like, you all started pooping. I'm like, no, I don't need to add anything to that.
I'm not pooping. It's just a fart.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just sharding. Maybe I sharded. All right. Thanks, YouTube. We're new on YouTube, so peace out, YouTube. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Later.